11Alive, traffic brought to you by John Foy & Associates.
Atlanta is filled with great photo spots, and of course I would know because this is my hometown. I'm 11Alive's Francesca Amaker, and I'm about to show you my picks for the 3 best Instagram spots in Atlanta. The OUTKAST mural is one of Atlanta's newest hotspots. Created by the artist Jex, people flock from all over the world just to get a shot of these 2 hip-hop legends. News of the mural went viral when Big Boy himself gave a shout out on Instagram. You can find it tucked away in a back parking lot in Little Five Points. An Atlanta icon, ever-changing, always interesting. The Krog Street Tunnel is full of artwork from some pretty eclectic Atlanta artists.
Yeah, all we feel is good vibe with it. It's a good time. We don't worry about the hate. We just pass it to the side.
There's graffiti, community messages, concert announcements. You really never know what you're gonna get here, and that's what makes it so special. You can find it between Cabbagetown and Inman Park. If you've never checked it out, it's a must-see. There are hundreds of works of art along the Beltline. I'm talking murals, sculptures, photography. This beautiful mural was created by the artist Hints. It's 100 feet long, and even though it was created in 2014, it still remains very popular to musicians and photographers alike. You can find it on the East Side Trail under Virginia Avenue. So let me know what you think. It doesn't have to be street art. Maybe your favorite spot is down the street from your home or a great view. Connect with me on Facebook and Instagram and share your favorite Instagram spots in Atlanta. And come hang out with me on Morning Rush, weekdays 5 to 7 a.m. on 11Alive.
A viewer asking us to verify after seeing the issue of a 2-day wait, that a hospital is having a very long wait for those trying to get in. We're trying to get to the bottom of this to find out if that information is indeed factual. That's coming up.
Plus, why U-Haul is telling Georgia job applicants who use nicotine not to even bother applying.
Well, rain has been persistent all afternoon and evening long, and more heavy rain on the way, so we'll time it out for you coming up.
11Alive News Primetime on the ATL starts now.
On this Thursday, we first begin with the family of a television sports reporter who died in a plane crash last weekend, now sharing their heartbreak.
Carly McCord was on her way here to Atlanta for the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl when the plane crashed in Lafayette, Louisiana, killing her and 4 others on board.
11Alive's Elwin Lopez now joining us. And Elwin, we are now hearing from both her husband and her parents. It is heartbreaking.
Yeah, that's right, Jeff. It was an emotional interview. McCord's family tells NBC just how much she touched the lives of those around her. McCord was among 5 people killed in that plane crash. The other 4 were pilots Ian Biggs, passengers Gretchen Vincent and her son Michael, who went by Walker, and Robert Von Crisp II. The sole survivor here was Wade Bertans, who was critically injured. As investigators continue to look into the crash, families are still coming to terms with what happened. Here's what McCord's dad, Tracy, and her husband, Stephen Ensminger Jr., told NBC.
She just touched everybody that she came in contact with. There's really no other way to put it other than the fact that she was a shining light that made you shine when she was in the room.
She'll always be right there next to me, pushing me to keep going.
Family says in just 30 years of life, McCord had a huge impact on those around her. She taught English to children in China, and a new scholarship will be made in her name for aspiring female broadcasters. Jennifer.
Oh, and thank you so much. New tonight, Atlanta police arrest a teen for the shooting death of a 15-year-old girl in the Peoplestown neighborhood. Police say 17-year-old Kendrick Butler opened fire at a home Monday morning on Washington Street after getting into an argument with a man. Now, that man was shot twice and survived. The 15-year-old girl was hit and died. Butler is now facing several charges, including murder.
We're watching a very wet pattern continue to unfold across the Atlanta area and North Georgia tonight. I'm meteorologist Samantha Moore, and we've been watching this rain stream in all day long. It's lightening up a bit, so if you are heading out, it's drizzly to light showers right now, but some of the damage has already been done, where we've seen some particularly heavy downpours here, including in North Fulton, where we've seen the rainfall really accumulate, and another thunderstorm here popping up right around the Tate area. area just north of Canton. And we do have a flood warning that's in place now here for the Big Creek area, mainly in North Fulton, but also stretches into South Forsyth. And that is going to be in place. And we're anticipating flooding until Saturday there in the Greenbelt area. So you can see how widespread it is, and more heavy rain off to our south and west, riding up along the edge of this warm front. We are in the warm sector, by the way, which means as the rain continues to come down off and on all night, our temperatures will continue to go up. So surprisingly, the next 12 hours, temperatures will be on the rise. We could be near 70 degrees with the rain coming down tomorrow. So coming up, we'll time out when we'll likely see the heaviest of the rain and when you can expect storms.
Samantha, thank you. Here's a story that all of us have been thinking about for days. It's impossible to stop thinking about it. This incredible tragedy. Georgia Tech football recruit Bryce Gowdy expected to move to Atlanta this weekend and then begin his classes on Monday. But young Gowdy, a four-star football recruit with this just incredible future ahead of him, died over the weekend after he was struck by a train in Florida. The medical examiner ruled that he took his own life. Joe Hankey talked with Gowdy's uncle today about the stress that this future student athlete had and the issues that he had with his family as they became homeless.
Well, as a youngin', he was kind of forced to be an adult. His father was in and out of his life because of, decision-making.
Thomas Gowdy says his nephew Bryce Gowdy thought of himself as a father figure to his younger brothers, and he did what he could to take care of them.
Every summer, he either came and worked with me, or he worked with my father and I with our family business to get extra money to help feed the family.
In the past 6 months, though, Bryce's uncle says financial problems set in, leaving Bryce, his mom, and brothers homeless.
My aunt, my dad, and I was the main ones, helping them financially. They were bouncing from hotel to hotel room. I had just fed them days ago because he came to me saying they had to move again.
Bryce played high school football in Deerfield Beach, Florida, and committed to playing at Georgia Tech after being recruited by head coach Jeff Collins' program.
What do you love about Bryce Gowdy?
When you turn on the tape, he's just making plays all over the place. Great size, great speed, great athleticism.
On Sunday, a day before his death, Gowdy tweeted a picture saying family matters. Can't wait to get to the ATL soon.
He was very excited to meet his new Georgia Tech family. He was happy.
Bryce's uncle says his nephew, though, struggled with the stress of moving away from his mom and brothers.
And we were basically motivating him and letting him know, you're going to be okay. You don't have to worry about your brothers because once you step through that door on campus, your life will change.
As a Division I student athlete, Bryce knew he would have a place to live and food to eat, but his family did not have the same promise.
He knew he was going to be all right. His worry wasn't him. It was his brothers.
In a statement on Monday, Georgia Tech's football coach Jeff Collins said his team is devastated and offering their condolences to Bryce Gowdy's family. Georgia Tech's social media pages have been putting out messages of support, and a GoFundMe for his family is up above $75,000 now. People are sharing their condolences on the 11Alive Facebook page. You can head over there and join in on the conversation. And this bears repeating, and the issues of suicide in young people are staggering. I think for any of us that are parents, it's frightening. And if you or someone you know is having any kinds of suicidal thoughts, you have the opportunity to call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, somebody available 24/7. It's free, and that number right there is the one you need to remember.
An SUV rams into a home after its driver goes into cardiac arrest. The story tops our speed feed tonight. The city of South Fulton says a man in his late 50s was backing out of his driveway this morning when it all happened. He ended up veering into a yard and hitting another home on Stonecroft Road, and sadly, that driver died. No one inside the home was hurt. A tumbling semi-truck crashed into several cars after driving off the road today. It started as a traffic backup on Jimmy Carter Boulevard. The truck hit two cars before it went down an embankment, according to the Georgia State Patrol. On the way down, it flipped over and landed in a Quick Trip parking lot. GSP says 9 other vehicles were damaged by the time it was over. The State Patrol is still investigating, and they haven't released details on any injuries. Tonight, new body camera video shows the moments a man crashed his car and then jumped 40 feet from the freeway to escape a traffic stop that was actually meant for someone else. The video shows an Atlanta police officer following the man who took off on foot after his car crashed on I-85 near Piedmont early this morning. Then the man leaps over the concrete wall. You see him just there. Officers were not able to find him after that, but they say they found a gun near where he fell.
Georgia's soon-to-be newest senator took a private tour today, the port of Savannah. It's been one of Kelly Loeffler's few public appearances since Governor Kemp announced she would replace Senator Johnny Isakson. But today she talked with reporters. 11Alive's Doug Richards was among them and has more from the Georgia coast.
So we are in Savannah because for weeks, Kelly Loeffler's staff has turned away our requests for an interview with her. So when they told us that she would tour the port of Savannah and then take questions afterward, we made the drive. Loeffler has maintained a guarded public profile since Governor Kemp named her a month ago to succeed U.S. Senator Johnny Isakson, who resigned due to health issues. Loeffler's social media has shown her in spots sometimes far from Atlanta, like Augusta and Homerville and Carrollton, and now Savannah. We asked Loeffler about her low-key run-up to assuming her Senate seat next week.
This is why I wanted to do the job, is to work for Georgia. And so this has been incredibly helpful for me as I think about approaching Washington and really working for our state.
Loeffler will enter the Senate as a wealthy businesswoman whose husband is reportedly worth $500 million and owns the New York Stock Exchange. Loeffler told us she's taking steps to set aside her business interests. She would not commit to releasing her tax returns.
So I'm looking at making sure that I comply with both the spirit and the letter of the law, and making sure that all the disclosures are very clear, and certainly will do everything that's required.
Ms. Loeffler also discussed impeachment, one of the first orders of business to face that will be in front of her next week. You will see what she said coming up at 9 o'clock right here on the ATL.
Nick Gordon's Atlanta lawyer is weighing in today on the challenges and the addiction issues he faced. Gordon is most famously known as the boyfriend of Bobby Christina, Whitney Houston's daughter, and today we're learning he died of an apparent drug overdose yesterday in Florida. Nick was taken in by Whitney Houston when he was 12 years old and raised alongside Bobby Christina in their Alpharetta home. After Houston died in 2012, Nick and Bobby Christina started seeing each other romantically. In 2015, just 3 years after Whitney's death, Bobby Christina died after she was found unresponsive in a bathtub at her home. Investigators called her death accidental, but confirmed she was on drugs at the time. Gordon was at home when this happened and in a civil suit was found responsible for Bobby Christina's death. He was ordered to pay $36 million to her estate. One of his attorneys, Randy Kessler, spoke with us about Nick's struggle with addiction.
He was stricken. I mean, he had a tough uphill battle, and he and Bobby Christina both reached out for help where they could find him.
And Kessler says he kept in touch with Nick, texting on occasion. To his knowledge, Nick split his time between Florida and Georgia, but his primary residence was in Florida. That's where 2 years ago Nick was arrested but not charged for domestic violence. His then-girlfriend recanted her allegations. Our Atticus investigators took a deep look at Brown and Gordon's relationship in their series, The Triangle. It's an investigation into the spike in heroin-related deaths in Metro Atlanta's wealthy suburbs. You can watch exclusive interviews in the As Seen on TV section of the 11Alive app right now.
Bringing in 2020 also means reminding yourself to write the correct year when you date things. Next on Primetime, we're going to verify claims that you should never abbreviate this year as just 20. It is a consumer alert you don't want to miss.
And it was a fun night for the Dogs, winning the Sugar Bowl down in Louisiana. But why is Kirby Smart saying players joining the Dogs have a disease? We got his comments and a little bit of an explanation next. And don't forget, we are streaming right now on the 11Alive YouTube channel. You can subscribe and join the conversation in our community section. More 11Alive news and Primetime after the break.
Once an Olympic city, Atlanta's home to the best sports scene across the nation. Hey look, the South has something to say. You won't find more passionate fans anywhere. From the Atlanta Braves home run king, my man Hank Aaron, to the human highlight film Hawks Dominique Wilkins, some of the greatest athletes have come through Atlanta. We're talking the Falcons, the Braves, the Hawks, the MLS champs, Atlanta United. This city has something for every kind of sports fan. So what do you think? Is Atlanta the best city in America? Connect with us. Use Facebook or Instagram and tell us why this city's got it going on. And then watch us every weekday morning from 5 to 7 on The Morning Rush on 11Alive.
Tell Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
Babe, where are my keys?
Mom, where's my lunch?
Where's my phone? Hey, where's my blue shirt?
Where's my pen? Have you seen it?
Everybody has learned how to drive, so I'm going to go ahead and retire.
It didn't last long. Crank up your morning rush with Crash Clark. Weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m. on 11Alive. Traffic brought to you by John Foy & Associates.
I woke up at 2 in the morning to be here. Where were you?
Once you allow it, right, then it sets you up for the entire week where you just have lost it.
Like on a Sunday, it's like, oh, let's just order some Chinese food, and of course you wind up eating tons of that. And then on Monday, you're like, well, I got leftovers, I can't let it go to waste.
Auntie wants to give you a plate to take home from the barbecue.
Auntie!
Auntie, don't invite me.
Every new year, there's that adjustment period, if you will, where you have to remind yourself not to write 2019 and to make sure that you date things 2020. Well, here's another thing for you to try and remember as we start the new year. Claims say that you should never abbreviate this year as just 20 because it opens you up to easy fraud. Well, we have had our Verify team breaking this down. Here's our Jason Puckett.
When signing and dating legal documents, do not use 20 as the year 2020. That post from a police department, and it's just one example of the post we've seen. Basic idea, when you write the date, like January 1st, 2020, make sure you write out the full year, 2020, and don't shorten it to just 20. Why? Well, the argument is that it's incredibly easy for someone to take that 20 and change it to any other year this century. Say you write a check for February 1st, 20, and you pay someone with it. They write 2021 or 2022 and cash it years later when you don't expect it. Or what about a legal contract? You agree to a job starting April 1st, 20 and ending June 1st, 20. Then they change it to say you started in 2019 and don't end until 2024. Yeah, it's a frightening concept that a fraudster could just completely change the date. But would it actually work? Well, it definitely could. For checks, there are laws regarding their expiration. The U.S. Uniform Commercial Code, for instance, says banks don't have to honor a check after 6 months. So a check in February can only be cashed through August, right? Well, not if you just put 20. Now, they could write 2021 and cash it from February through August of the next year and on and on. Simply put, this would be hard to stop. So these posts are good advice. It's worth taking the extra half second to write out the full year 2020. But keep in mind, in our digital age, it's increasingly easier to fake photos, videos, and even documents. Someone can still digitally edit something to defraud you, even if you wrote the full date. Now, we're not saying that to scare you, more to point out that while this tip is a good one, it's also great advice to keep your own copies of documents and agreements. If you take a picture of a check or legal agreement, you have proof that something was changed, which will make getting it fixed a whole lot easier.
And the rain just keeps coming out there this evening. We're watching the rain extend all across North Georgia, and it's been heavy at times. Right now, the heaviest downpours are kind of scattered across the North Georgia mountains, and we expect to see that continue during the evening hours with some isolated heavy downpours even in the center of town. We've certainly seen them here in North Fulton and western Gwinnett, where we've had some flooding issues, South Forsyth as well, near Big Creek or along Big Creek. In Alpharetta, we are seeing some flood conditions here. There's a flood warning in place, and they expect conditions to get worse as we head towards the weekend and the rainfall continues to accumulate here. And accumulate it will. We've already had about 1.5 inches or better in these areas, stretching from Allatoona over towards Big Creek and then into Johns Creek as well. So some very heavy rain and still more to come. Look at this heavy rain, all those thunderstorms, a lot of lightning here in northwestern Alabama. Some of that could clip northwest Georgia during the evening hours. You'll notice temperatures going up the next several hours since we are in the warm sector. That's bringing in warm air here, and that may make us a little more likely to see some thunderstorms. General thunderstorms expected tonight. This is this convective outlook from the Storm Prediction Center. Better chance tomorrow, especially east of 85 and south of I-20 here. That's where we could see some isolated severe thunderstorms. Looking out right now over Rome, you can see the streets are still wet and a flood watch is in place there in Floyd Floyd County. 2 to 3 inch storm totals. We're thinking some locally heavy amounts, and that makes flooding possible as we head into the next 24 to 36 hours, but primarily through to tomorrow evening. So we're looking at the temperatures on the rise right now. Check this out. We only had a 2-degree spread from early this morning. 46 was our low, 48 was our high, and temperatures are going to be warming up from this point onward. 52 and 34 is where we should be this time of year, and we picked up 3/4 of an inch of rain, or a little better than that, and there's still a lot more to come. So temperatures are mild out there at the moment. We're in the upper 40s in Atlanta. We're at 50 in Duluth, 50 in Dalton, 50 in Blairsville, and 53 in LaGrange. In the next 12 hours, our temps are going to continue to go up, up, up. We should be in the mid-60s by daybreak tomorrow, and then temperatures getting up close to 70, be in the upper 60s right around lunchtime. So here's the timing of it. You can see the heaviest rain is on the north side, showers across the rest of the area with isolated thunderstorms still popping up yet this evening. So we'll continue to see those move from west to east here as we head into the overnight. And then tonight could have some heavier downpours move in with this first pretty good line that'll be working its way through. A lot of it during the morning commute tomorrow. We're still kind of in holiday light yet tomorrow, but still, this could make a mess of things throughout the first half of Friday. These look like some pretty nasty storms stretching from Blairsville into Cobb County, down into Carroll County as we head into lunchtime. So just be advised, you may not be able to head out if some really strong storms move in. If you're planning on meeting someone for lunch or you have plans in the middle of the day, these storms could be moving throughout the afternoon and even into the evening, and more to come still as we head into Friday night. And could still see some lightning, some thunder, some gusty damaging winds, and then things should start to improve during the day on Saturday. So here's a look at your forecast. 100% chance of off and on rain on our Friday. Could have some strong thunderstorms on occasion. As we head into Saturday, it'll be cooling off. We'll be clearing out during the afternoon, but we still have a chance of rain in the morning on Saturday and then getting better throughout the day. The winds will be blowing, though, gusting up to 25 miles per hour on Sunday. Cool and crisp and blustery. Look how chilly it's going to be, pretty much in the 40s most of the day. And then Monday, we started out nice with a 10 on the wazometer as many kids and parents head back to school and work.
Samantha, thank you. The Georgia Bulldogs are the Sugar Bowl champions. They beat Baylor 26-14 after midnight, but you know Kirby's smart, and he is never satisfied. He doesn't want to hear any good stuff. He learned that from Nick Saban, and Saban has a famous line about getting praise and complacency.
All that stuff you write about how good we are and all that stuff they hear on ESPN, it's like poison. You know what I mean? It's like taking poison, like rat poison.
Rat poison. We know that line. We know that one. So after freshman receiver George Pickens had 12 catches and a touchdown, a young defender stepped up. He said that's still a problem at Georgia.
The future's only bright if those guys continue to work, because there's a disease and that creeps in at Georgia where kids believe they're better than they are. Those kids that you just mentioned are tremendous players, but they'll only be as good as they can be if they stay as hungry as they are. And when you're not hungry, you become average.
Kirby Smart will keep them hungry. You can be sure of that. No complacency there in Athens. He's recruiting 5 stars. He will make them only better. We'll see how that translates and when into the national championship that Georgia fans are so ravenous for.
Jeff, I like that win. Coming up after the break, the world's busiest airport is now smoke-free. Why entertainers say the smoke ban at Hartsfield-Jackson International is a major victory.
For good reason. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Andrew Young, John Lewis, they all fought in the struggle for equal rights right here. Businesses on Sweet Auburn Avenue, local black churches, and college students from Atlanta all helped shape the future of America. Once an Olympic city, Atlanta's home to the best sports scene across the nation. Hey look, the South has something to say. You won't find more passionate fans anywhere. From the Atlanta Braves home run king, my man Hank Aaron, to the human highlight film Hawks Dominique Wilkins, some of the greatest athletes have come through Atlanta. We're talking the Falcons, the Braves, the Hawks, the MLS champs, Atlanta United. This city has something for every kind of sports fan. So what do you think? Is Atlanta the best city in America? Connect with us. Use Facebook or Instagram and tell us why this city's got it going on. And then watch us every weekday morning from 5 to 7 on The Morning Rush on 11Alive.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
Babe, where are my keys?
Where's my lunch?
Where's my phone? Hey, where's my blue shirt?
Where's my pen? Have you seen it?
Everybody has learned how to drive, so I'm going to go ahead and retire.
It didn't last long. Crank up your morning rush with Crash Clark. Weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m. on 11Alive. Traffic brought to you by John Foy & Associates.
I woke up at 2 in the morning to be here. Where were you?
Once you allow it, right, then it sets you up for the entire week where you just have lost it.
Like on a Sunday, it's like, oh, let's just order some Chinese food, and of course you wind up eating tons of that. And then on Monday, you're like, well, I got leftovers, I can't let it go to waste.
Auntie wants to give you a plate to take home from the barbecue.
Auntie.
No.
Auntie, don't invite me to the barbecue.
I'm gonna be looking for you next time, so use the hashtag and let us know you're hanging out with us. Morning Rush, weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m. only on 11Alive.
The 11Alive app is your go-to source for all things Atlanta.
You hear what happened today? I'll tell you all about it.
Breaking news the moment it happens.
The boil water advisory.
Hyper-local, accurate weather alert.
You may want to grab that sweater, maybe even a coat.
More stories to uncover. More videos to discover.
You did it.
Starting today, there is no smoking inside Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. The city of Atlanta passed the ordinance in July. It puts a ban on smoking and vaping inside enclosed public areas like hotels, workplaces, and even the smoking rooms inside the airport. If you're caught smoking, you can face up to a $200 fine. And some welcome the change. Others, though, say they don't like it.
I was looking forward to that, thinking, oh, you know what, I can go early. I don't mind going early because I can go find that smoking lounge and inside and just relax. Yeah, this is crazy.
Well, one group celebrating the city's decision, though, entertainers. Atlanta-based nonprofit Entertainers Speak Out calls the ban a victory. They say the secondhand smoke damages artists' voices, which ultimately impacts their overall livelihood.
We've got an opportunity to change lives, change careers, be able to impact a community that's being devastated by these toxic chemicals and what it's doing to us that are entertainers and hospitality workers in our workplace. And we have a saying that they don't smoke on your job, so why should they smoke on ours? This is what we do to make a living.
Well, the group plans to host a smoke-free party to celebrate this weekend. Other artists who endorse the decision includes musician Sana Foster and the daughter of the late B.B. King, Claudette King, as well.
And Lucille's not in favor of it either, right? A surprise announcement from U-Haul. The company says it will start rejecting job applicants who use nicotine. They're going to do this in 21 states. Georgia is one of them. The policy starts February 1st. Job applicants will not only be questioned about nicotine use, but they'll also have to submit to nicotine testing in order to be considered. The company says the move is part of its commitment to promote a healthy workforce. Cheryl Preheim explains while the intention is good, the announcement does not come without controversy.
A lot of people are talking about this and have strong opinions. Andrea says she works for a small company that does the same thing. They can't smoke on the premises, and whether they smoke really factors into their health insurance premiums as well. But Pamela's upset, saying a lawsuit's going to come, calling it discrimination, plain and simple. Elaine agrees, also saying it's discrimination and restrictions of rights. She says she's a non-smoker, but wonders where will it end. What do you think? We'd love to hear from you. We have more on this story on 11alive.com.
Coming up, it was just constant pain. I can't get my arm around.
Vaccine warning. It's not what's in the syringe causing excruciating pain. A reveal investigation coming up on Primetime on WATL.
Long. Crank up your morning rush with Crash Clark. Weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m. on 11Alive. Traffic brought to you by John Foy & Associates.
Atlanta is filled with great photo spots. And of course, I would know because this is my hometown. I'm 11Alive's Francesca Amaker, and I'm about to show you my picks for the 3 best Instagram spots in Atlanta. The OUTKAST mural is one of Atlanta's newest hotspots. Created by the artist Jex, people flock from all over the world just to get a shot of these 2 hip-hop legends. News of the mural went viral when Big Boy himself gave a shout out on Instagram. You can find it tucked away in a back parking lot in Little Five Points. An Atlanta icon, ever-changing, always interesting. The Krog Street Tunnel is full of artwork from some pretty eclectic Atlanta artists.
Yeah, all we feel is good vibe with it. It's a good time. We don't worry about the hate. We just pass it to the side.
There's graffiti, community messages, concert announcements. You really never know what you're gonna get here, and that's what makes it so special. You can find it between Cabbagetown and Inman Park. If you've never checked it out, it's a must-see. There are hundreds of works of art along the Beltline. I'm talking murals, sculptures, photography. This beautiful mural was created by the artist Hints. It's 100 feet long, and even though it was created in 2014, it still remains very popular to musicians and photographers alike. You can find it on the East Side Trail under Virginia Avenue. So let me know what you think. It doesn't have to be street art. Maybe your favorite spot is down the street from your home or a great view. Connect with me on Facebook and Instagram and share your favorite Instagram spots in Atlanta. And come hang out with me on Morning Rush, weekdays 5 to 7 a.m. on 11Alive.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
I haven't seen you in a while. Where you been?
It looks like fun.
They are fun.
And they're
convenient. But they're being dumped everywhere.
5,000 scooters at one time active throughout the city. I enjoy them myself. They're fun. There's got to be some regulations.
I just feel like we have to evolve with the times, though. They're not going anywhere. They shouldn't go anywhere. It's a new way of transporting. We have to evolve.
I'm going to be looking for you next time, so use the hashtag and let us know you're hanging out with us. Morning Rush, weekdays 5 to 7 a.m.
You see them all day, every day. Headlines, stats, and numbers, but without context, they're just clickbait. So let's add some perspective. The 3 most interesting numbers of the day, what they mean, and why they're important. News and numbers on Up Late.
Hello, welcome to The Reveal on Primetime. I'm investigator Rebecca Lindstrom. Thousands of people say they suffered serious injuries after getting their flu shot. The problem isn't what's in the syringe, it is the way the shot is given. While doctors say the benefits far outweigh the risks, there is a word you should know before rolling up your sleeve. Cerva. Until 2015, had you ever heard that word?
Nope. Not ever.
And chances are you haven't heard of Cerva either. It stands for shoulder injury related to vaccine administration. It can happen when someone gives a shot wrong, perhaps too high on the arm or too deep.
It was just constant pain. I can't get my arm around. I couldn't lift my arm up. I couldn't sleep on my left side. Everything was painful.
But for years, her doctors refused to believe her shot had anything to do with it.
This is all my doctor's visits. Okay. Most of them.
When Susan Weber complained, they ordered her cortisone shots and physical therapy, none of which worked. In frustration, she went online to search for a cause. What she found was attorney Leah Durant.
And what did she say? I feel your pain. And it was, look at me. I mean, she'd been through it too.
Because what almost brought Weber to tears wasn't the pain of her experience, but the struggle to find someone that understood.
Somebody knew what was going on and could help me.
Weber ended up having surgery for a torn rotator cuff and received a settlement through the Vaccine Injury Compensation Program, a federal fund that removes all liability from the pharmaceutical companies that make the vaccines and the people who administer them. The fund was originally set up to calm fears about the side effects of the actual vaccines, but last year, half of all petitions filed were for Cerva, a side effect of how the vaccines are given.
So we really are dealing with potentially a public health crisis. I mean, the numbers really are staggering.
In the past 3 years, the fund has paid out $2.4 million on Cerva claims in Georgia, and only a third of the petitions I found have been resolved. Nationally, the payout jumps to $20 million last year alone. Most of those are settlements. That means no one has ruled on whether the shot itself caused the injury. But Durant says clients take a settlement since a backlog in cases means new petitions won't get a hearing until next year.
HHS just does not seem to have the capability to handle the onslaught of cases.
But for all the time and money spent, the 11Alive investigators learned no one is going back to alert the person who gave the shot or require additional training to prevent this same mistake from happening again. Health and Human Services says even if they wanted to, they don't track that kind of information. They say that's the responsibility of the CDC. And while no one here would talk with us on camera, in a written statement, they did say that no one here is trying to track or retrain the people who give those shots either.
And I think, unfortunately, what we're finding is that a number of these individuals who administer shots just don't have the training, and many of them just are not even aware that these kinds of severe injuries and reactions can occur.
In Georgia, anyone can give a shot.
Subcutaneous injections are administered into the fatty tissue, under the dermis, and over the muscle tissue.
The CDC has a training video to show you how. Boards that regulate doctors, nurses, and pharmacists all have training requirements. Still, a preliminary study of shoulder problems reported to the CDC after the flu shot found 40% were given at a pharmacy. A third of the shots were given at a doctor's office or hospital. Do you know what kind of person gave you a shot? Was it a registered nurse?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think it was a technician of some sort.
In Georgia, technicians and medical assistants are not regulated, and they can give shots as long as a doctor is somewhere in the building. State law leaves it up to those medical professionals to make sure they are properly trained. Would you be okay if the person who had administered your shot was given some kind of notification that they gave it incorrectly?
Sure.
The CDC did say it had launched 2 studies to look for ways to reduce injuries, but Durant believes that is still short-sighted.
I mean, without truly educating the vaccine administrators, this is a situation that will never be resolved.
There are concerns the government is looking for ways to make it harder to file a CERVA claim. So we sent a series of open records requests. Health Resources and Services Administration sent us 283 pages, but nearly half are redacted. Most of those pages completely blanked out. And almost 1 year later, the Department of Justice has yet to send us anything. You can see more in-depth investigations like this one by going onto our website at 11alive.com. Don't forget to watch The Reveal, the only local investigative show in the country, Sunday at 6 on our sister station, 11Alive.
Well, we're continuing with the soggy pattern outside. If you have been out and you have been in traffic this evening, I know you know what I'm talking about. Very soggy, foggy. And the rain continuing, although it's lightened up across most of the metro, at least within 285. We still have some isolated heavier downpours here on the north side. And we've had some issues with flooding already here in northeastern Fulton and southern Forsyth. We do have a flood warning here along Big Creek, and that's going to be in place most likely until we get to Saturday. They're expecting it to reach its highest crest on Saturday. So a lot more moisture out here too, stretching back into Alabama, where we have some very heavy thunderstorms right now. Those could be scraping by northwest Georgia in the next several hours during the overnight hours. And we're in the warm sector of this front, which means our temperatures, despite all the rain, are going to continue to go up during the overnight. So overnight, we're going to be in the mid-60s. It's going to feel really weird when you head out the door tomorrow morning, and temperatures will live warm despite all the cloud cover and the rain. So we're going to be stuck in this wet pattern until Saturday morning, and then afternoon on Saturday it gets windy and cooler. Temperatures in the meantime before the front passes will be on the rise, and then it'll be cooler and breezier on the backside of that Saturday into Sunday. So coming up, we'll go hour by hour and let you know when to expect the heaviest of the rain tonight and when you may hear those rumbles of thunder.
The family of a college student who was hit and killed on Georgia 400 now is raising money to hire a private investigator. Stephen Egan was only 21. Nearly 2 weeks ago, he was hit by a driver on Georgia 400 at around 6 in the morning. The driver stayed at the scene, but Egan's family wants answers when it comes to why he was on 400 at that hour and why his car and phone are still missing. The GoFundMe to hire a private investigator has raised nearly $7,000 of its $20,000 goal. You can find more information on the case at 11alive.com.
Metro Atlanta home prices rose 4.2% in 2019. That's according to our partners at the Atlanta Business Chronicle. And they say that's the fourth highest increase in the U.S. The trend stands for renters as well. RentCafe.com says the price of rent in Atlanta went up 65% over the last 10 years. The average now close to $1,500 a month.
Former NFL coach and Atlanta native Sam Wyche has died at the age of 74. He attended North Fulton High School. He was a star there. He went to Furman University, which is about an hour and 45 minutes from where we're sitting right now in Midtown. This was a short battle with melanoma. He had a heart transplant about 3.5 years ago. He was doing fine. He was a character. I ran into him about 20 years ago at Dusty's Barbecue on Briarcliff, and he told me all about, about playing football as a teen in Atlanta. His father owned a Dairy Queen here in Atlanta. His mother attended Morningside Baptist off of Piedmont. Sam Wyche was a character. He was a heck of a football coach, too, and just one of those charismatic, unforgettable characters that I will never forget, and I'm really privileged tonight to say that I got to spend some time with him and listen to those stories of an Atlanta that is long ago and far away. May you rest in peace. A Rockdale County Sheriff's investigator doing better but still has a long fight ahead. He was recently hospitalized for the flu and for pneumonia. Cole Haney was taken to Emory Hospital this weekend in critical condition. He went to the doctor last week. He was sent home with medicine after his flu test came back negative. His situation got worse. A couple of days later, he had trouble breathing. Then his wife set up a Facebook page to update everybody. She says he is improving but still not responding to any voice commands right now. Flu is widespread in our state right now. Several strains of the virus are circulating around. Look out.
Some Delta Airlines employees are suing Land's End over their uniforms, claiming it made them sick. 11 Alive's Elwin Lopez has been going through the lawsuit for us tonight. Elwin?
Yeah, Jennifer, the uniforms are advertised as wrinkle-free, stain-resistant, and waterproof. Now, the lawsuit filed today claims that these chemicals used to make them as advertised are actually causing serious health problems. Breathing problems, hair loss, fatigue, rashes. Those are just some of the issues in the plaintiffs that they are claiming in that lawsuit that they are currently having. Now, Land's End got the contract to make the uniforms in 2016, and now the plaintiffs are asking them to recall the clothes and pay damages. Now, here's what Delta is saying to us in a statement tonight. They say that their top priority continues to be the safety of our employees, adding that they invested in rigorous toxicology study to determine if there was a universal scientific issue with the uniform, saying that the results of that study confirm our, quote, uniforms meet the highest textile standards, with the exception of the optional flight attendant apron, which was removed from the collection. Now, we asked Land's End for a comment. They say they won't comment on any pending litigation. Jeff?
All right, Elvin, thank you. A Metro Atlanta hospital's wait, and its time jumps to nearly 2 days. Were they that busy, or was there some mistake there? We verify coming up next.
People from all walks of life have come here and made it home. From different backgrounds, languages, and religions, and who can forget about the food? They all make this a cultural melting pot, full of great people and Southern hospitality. Atlanta's rich history is unmatched, known as the cradle of the civil rights movement for good reason. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Andrew Young, John Lewis, they all fought in the struggle for equal rights right here. Businesses on Sweet Auburn Avenue, local black churches, and college students from Atlanta all helped shape the future of America. Once an Olympic city, Atlanta's home to the best sports scene across the nation. Hey look, the South has something to say. You won't find more passionate fans anywhere. From the Atlanta Braves home run king, my man Hank Aaron, to the human highlight film Hawks' Dominique Wilkins, some of the greatest athletes have come through Atlanta. We're talking the Falcons, the Braves, the Hawks, the MLS champs, Atlanta United. This city has something for every kind of sports fan. So what do you think? Is Atlanta the best city in America? Connect with us. Use Facebook or Instagram and tell us why this city's got it going on. And then watch us every weekday morning from 5 to 7 on the Morning Rush on 11 Alive.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
Babe, where are my keys?
Where's my lunch?
Where's my phone? Hey, where's my blue shirt?
Where's my pen? Have you seen it?
Everybody has learned how to drive, so I'm going to go ahead and retire.
It didn't last long. Crank up your morning rush with Crash Clark. Weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m. on 11Alive. Traffic brought to you by John Foy & Associates.
I woke up at 2 in the morning to be here. Where were you?
Once you allow it, right, then it sets you up for the entire week where you just have lost it.
Like on a Sunday, it's like, oh, let's just order some Chinese food, and of course you wind up eating tons of that. And then on Monday, you're like, well, I got leftovers, I can't let it go to waste.
Auntie wants to give you a plate to take home from the barbecue.
Auntie.
No.
Auntie, don't invite me to the barbecue.
I'm gonna be looking for you next time, so use the hashtag and let us know you're hanging out with us. Morning Rush, weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m. only on 11Alive.
The 11Alive app is your go-to source for all things Atlanta.
You hear what happened today? I'll tell you all about it.
Breaking news the moment it happens.
The boil water advisory.
Hyper-local, accurate weather alerts.
You may want to grab that sweater, maybe even a coat.
More stories to uncover. More videos to discover.
He did it his way.
Personalized for you.
And that's what makes it so special.
The 11Alive app. Available now in the App Store.
Hey.
11Alive is where Atlanta speaks, and today a woman called our newsroom saying she was concerned about long wait times at Piedmont Hospital in Henry County. The website said wait times were adding up to nearly 2 days, so we checked the wait time today, and it was up to 10 hours. So we reached out to the hospital to see what was going on. A spokesperson told us they were having some computer problems that caused the website to show incorrect wait times, and they were working to fix that issue. We just checked the website again. It's now showing average times.
Well, this wet pattern just continues here as we head into the overnight hours, and it's going to be getting windy as well as we head into the next 24 to 48, even into Saturday afternoon and evening. It's going to be quite chilly and blustery behind the front. But in the meantime, we're warming up along with the rain, so we're going to see temperatures going up about 15 degrees overnight, and that doesn't happen all that often, especially here in the middle of winter. So we're looking at these temperatures and the rainy conditions, just kind of messy outside. We've had some heavier downpours. Marble Hill, just east of Tate, one of our 11Alive storm trackers reporting thunder there earlier and seeing some lightning, and we've also had reports here near Flowery Branch and Sugar Hill of thunder as well. And of course, we had those heavy downpours, and that's why the National Weather Service issued a flood warning here for Forsyth and Fulton counties along Big Creek, where we're likely to see flooding continue into Saturday. So Saturday will be when they expect Big Creek to crest. So we'll continue to see this wet pattern, some very heavy downpours along with a lot of lightning with some thunderstorms across northwestern Alabama. Those pushing to the east, some of those could clip northwest Georgia as we head into the overnight hours. And we're on the warm side of this front. We're in the warm sector. It means it's going to start feeling kind of sticky and warm tomorrow if you're out the first half of the day as that warmer air gets advected in over the southeast. So that'll make us more likely to see a chance for some strong to severe storms even as we head into tomorrow. Midday to afternoon, I think, will be the timing on that. Looking out over Noonan, you can see the streets are still aglow with the rainfall that we had. So we'll be watching for that as we head into the overnight hours. And those are those temperatures that are going to be going up as we head into daybreak tomorrow. We're going to be into the mid-60s, so it's going to feel kind of sticky and warm compared to what it feels like right now. Still a little chilly in some spots here, but temperatures today shaping up to be on the mild side, and we still have that flood watch that is in place across northwest Georgia as we head into the overnight hours. So we're going to be watching for that flood potential with 1 to 3 inches commonly across North Georgia, some spots getting even more than that. So it's this area from Floyd County up towards Dade County into the Tennessee, across the Tennessee line. So temperatures only warmed up 2 degrees today. We pretty much were flat all day long. So we were below average for our high, well above average for our low temperature early this morning. And we're going to see those temps on the rise overnight tonight. So right now we're looking at 44 in Clayton, 50 in Dalton, 54 in LaGrange, and those temperatures, of course, going up overnight. So we should be around mid 60s at daybreak. So once we get there, here is Friday, and we'll see the temperatures warm up to around 70 degrees by around lunchtime. And then you can see starts to cool down a little bit here. We have that first front move through. The winds are going to be gusty. It's not really cold yet, though. We're going to be in the upper 50s yet on Friday night, so it won't be as chilly as it will be on Saturday. This is Saturday night. After the front moves through, we'll be down in the upper 30s and low 40s during date night at 7:30, and those winds are going to be gusting up to around 25 miles per hour. The rain will continue to accumulate through Saturday morning, so we could end up seeing another 1 to 2 inches across much of the metro, with some spots in the mountains getting even a little bit more than that. So 100% chance of rain on our Friday. We could have some storms midday to mid-afternoon. Then a few showers left on Saturday morning, breezy and cool in the afternoon, and then the evening. Grab your coat before date night on Saturday night. We clear it out on Sunday for a nice, cool, crisp day. It will be chilly and breezy, and then a 10 on the wazometer as many kids go back to school after a long winter's break.
Samantha, thank you. I can't wait for them to go back. Tomorrow on Dateline, a hiker goes missing on New Year's Day in 2008 in the North Georgia mountains, and law enforcement officers become concerned after finding a police baton with some of her possessions on the trail on Blood Mountain. Could her disappearance be linked to 2 other similar cases with similar circumstances? Here's NBC's Dennis Murphy.
By nightfall, the search became all the more urgent as a cold front moved in, and temperatures on Blood Mountain plunged below zero. At daybreak, Thursday now, the friends were joined by deputies from the local sheriff's office. John Cagle, just shy of retirement, was the agent in charge for the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, the state's top cops.
We received a request from a local agency to help with a missing hiker.
The case of the hiker missing for 2 days didn't look good to the seasoned detective because of some disturbing items that had been recovered on the trail. What were the things that were found out in that trail area that you thought were alarming?
A couple of water bottles, a dog leash, and a police expandable baton.
This is a piece of professional gear.
It is. It's just a metal pipe that is expandable. You see almost every uniformed police officer in the nation carrying these things.
Did those artifacts, the water bottle, the baton, found together, tell you a story at all or suggest something ominous?
Yes. And we found those items in an area where the ground had appeared to have been disturbed. Then we became concerned that possibly a struggle took place there. We eventually partnered with over 18 or 19 police agencies to help for the search for Meredith.
Her friends were naturally beside themselves.
You know, your heart just broke because you think something happened, somebody had a weapon, and her stuff was there.
It is one of the most horrific stories that any of us have ever seen or reported on in this area. It's just horrible, horrible. You can watch Mystery on Blood Mountain if you so choose tomorrow night on Dateline on 11Alive.
The Golden Globes are this weekend, and many Georgia productions are up for some top honors.
Unmatched, known as the cradle of the civil rights movement, for good reason. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Andrew Young, John Lewis, they all fought in the struggle for equal rights right here. Businesses on Sweet Auburn Avenue, local black churches, and college students from Atlanta all helped shape the future of America. Once an Olympic city, Atlanta's home to the best sports scene across the nation. Hey look, the South has something to say. You won't find more passionate fans anywhere. From the Atlanta Braves home run king, my man Hank Aaron, to the human highlight film Hawks Dominique Wilkins, some of the greatest athletes have come through Atlanta. We're talking the Falcons, the Braves, the Hawks, the MLS champs, Atlanta United. This city has something for every kind of sports fan. So what do you think? Is Atlanta the best city in America? Connect with us. Use Facebook or Instagram and tell us why this city's got it going on. And then watch us every weekday morning from 5 to 7 on the Morning Rush on 11Alive.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
Babe, where are my keys?
Where's my lunch?
Where's my phone? Hey, where's my blue shirt?
Where's my pen? Have you seen it?
Everybody has learned how to drive, so I'm going to go ahead and retire.
It didn't last long. Crank up your morning rush with Crash Clark. Weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m. on 11Alive. Traffic brought to you by John Foy & Associates.
I woke up at 2 in the morning to be here. Where were you?
Once you allow it, right, then it sets you up for the entire week where you just have lost it.
Like on a Sunday, it's like, oh, let's just order some Chinese food, and of course you wind up eating tons of that. And then on Monday, you're like, well, I got leftovers, I can't let it go to waste.
Auntie wants to give you a plate to take home from the barbecue.
Auntie.
No.
Auntie, don't invite me to the barbecue.
I'm gonna be looking for you next time, so use the hashtag and let us know you're hanging out with us. Morning Rush, weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m. only on 11Alive.
The 11Alive app is your go-to source for all things Atlanta.
You hear what happened today? I'll tell you all about it.
Breaking news the moment it happens.
The boil water advisory.
Hyper-local, accurate weather alert.
You may want to grab that sweater, maybe even a coat.
More stories to uncover. More videos to discover.
He did it his way.
Personalized for you.
And that's what makes it so special.
The 11Alive app. Available now in the App Store.
Hey, I got the ways to go. I got moves to make, homie, but I stay in the flow. See, I just do what I say I'm gonna do. No, my movement ain't faded. You could assume what the doing was great.
Oh, and so I was saying, there is.
It is the first A-Scene of 2020. It's your one-stop shop for all things entertainment. And we are starting off with the biggest money-making movies of 2019. And you know what? A couple Georgia ones are on the list there. The top grossing movie of the year, Avengers Endgame, earning more than $2.7 billion worldwide. That's according to the Box Office Mojo. Also on the list, Jumanji, The Next Level, and Godzilla, King of the Monsters, all three filmed right here in the Metro. The 77th Annual Golden Globe Awards are this Sunday, and several movies and shows filmed here in Georgia are up for some awards. Kathy Bates scoring a nomination for Best Performance by an actress in a supporting role in any motion picture for her role in Richard Jewell as the mom. Joey King up for Best Performance by an actress in a limited series or motion picture made for TV. King stars as Gypsy Rose Blanchard in The Act, which was filmed in Effingham County and Savannah. You can watch the Golden Globe Awards Sunday night right here on 11Alive. For more of the A-Scene, make sure you visit our website, 11alive.com/the-A-Scene. Make sure you follow us on all that social media too. If you see anybody around town or any filming going on, make sure you tag it with the hashtag the A-Scene.
11Alive.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
You didn't get my text? The whole crew got together for coffee this morning.
I'm learning the taste of water because I'm sugary.
Yeah,
right.
About that.
Reward would be
slimming down. Okay,
yes.
right?
Okay.
Yeah, a little water in my cup.
And beautiful skin. You know, even more beautiful skin, you know, when it's all hydrated and everything else. I'm not going to be able to sit next to you in a few months.
Don't drink your morning coffee alone. Have it with us. Morning Rush, weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m. Only on 11Alive.
Some mornings, what you want isn't what you have time for. And that's why there's the Rush Block, the biggest news of the day in 5 minutes or less. Quick and convenient for all those hectic mornings. Catch the Rush Block on the Morning Rush.
Everybody has learned how to drive, so I'm going to go ahead and retire.
It didn't last long. Crank up your morning rush with Crash Clark. Weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m. on 11Alive. Traffic brought to you by John Foy & Associates.
Atlanta is filled with great photo spots. And of course, I would know because this is my hometown. I'm 11Alive's Francesca Amaker, and I'm about to show you my picks for the 3 best Instagram spots in Atlanta. The OUTKAST mural is one of Atlanta's newest hotspots. Created by the artist Jex, people flock from all over the world just to get a shot of these 2 hip-hop legends. News of the mural went viral when Big Boy himself gave a shout out on Instagram. You can find it tucked away in a back parking lot in Little 5 Points. An Atlanta icon, ever-changing, always interesting. The Krog Street Tunnel is full of artwork from some pretty eclectic Atlanta artists.
All we feel is good vibe with it, it's a good time. We don't worry about the hate, we just pass it to the side.
There's graffiti, community messages, concert announcements. You really never know what you're gonna get here, and that's what makes it so special. You can find it between Cabbagetown and Inman Park. If you've never checked it out, it's a must see. There are hundreds of works of art along the Beltline. I'm talking murals, sculptures, photography. This beautiful mural was created by the artist Hence. It's 100 feet long, and even though it was created in 2014, it still remains very popular to musicians and photographers alike. You can find
Two-time Olympic gold medalist Christian Taylor from Fayetteville, Georgia, says he wants to help the next generation of athletes. He's just started an initiative so athletes will have a greater voice and more influence over their sport. Christian is the reigning world and Olympic champ in triple jump. He just launched the Athletics Association. It's a body for professional athletes that will fight for athletes' rights and demand a greater say in how their sports are run. He says what makes our sport beautiful is its equality. Shot putters, sprinters, and distance runners are all part of one family. But it feels more and more like that is changing, as if a hierarchy is coming, threatening the livelihoods of those events considered less popular. There is already an athletes commission. Taylor says his organization will be truly independent so athletes can have more say, saying hopefully many years from now we can look back and say we planted a seed that changed the sport for the better. We are 203 days away from opening ceremony, and this week Tokyo's Olympic Stadium held its first major event, a soccer match. But it wasn't just a grand opening, it was really a test run ahead of the 2020 games. Fans at Japan's Emperor's Cup final were there to see the inside of the stadium for the first time. A few fans got lost on the way to the stadium, so the 2020 organizers say they're going to improve the signage before the Olympics. Overall, though, it was a success. I'll be traveling to Tokyo to report on the games, and you can watch our full coverage here on 11Alive.
All right, Cheryl, thanks a lot. It's almost 9 o'clock, folks, and we got a lot to talk about here on 11Alive News Prime Time. A young man accused of injuring a college student in a gun battle out on bond. Another young man charged with murder after receiving no prison time in a previous case. Do cases like this warrant a federal investigation here in Atlanta? We're digging into it next. Plus, to drop or not, Chick-fil-A firing up customers as it considers cutting items from its menu is one of your favorites on that list.
11Alive News Primetime on the ATL starts now.
All right, but first, the family of a TV reporter who died in a plane crash last weekend are sharing their heartbreak tonight. Carly McCord was on her way to Atlanta for the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl when the plane crashed in Lafayette, Louisiana, killing her and 4 others on board. 11Alive Elwin Lopez joins us. And Elwin, we're hearing from both her husband and her parents tonight, right?
Yeah, that's right, Ron. And it was an emotional interview. McCord's family tells NBC just how much she touched the lives of others. McCord was among 5 people killed in that plane crash. The other 4 were pilot Ian Biggs, passengers Gretchen Vincent, and her son Michael, who went by Walker, and Robert Von Crisp II, the sole survivor, Wade Bertans, who was critically injured. As investigators continue to look into the crash, families are still coming to terms with what happened. Here's what McCord's parents, Karen and Tracy, and her husband, Stephen S. Menninger Jr., told NBC.
Her heart. She loved fiercely. She had the biggest heart I've ever seen, and just everything about her. I message her back every day.
She just touched everybody that she came in contact with. There's really no other way to put it other than the fact that she was a shining light that made you shine when she was in the room.
She'll always be right there next to me, pushing me to keep going.
Everyone, love poured out.
Her family says in just 30 years, McCord had a huge impact on those around her. She also taught English to children in China, and a new scholarship will be made in her name for aspiring female broadcasters.
All right, thanks a lot, Elwin. New tonight, folks, Atlanta police arrest a teenager for the shooting death of a 15-year-old girl in the Peoplestown neighborhood. Police said the 17-year-old Kendrick Butler opened fire at a home Monday morning on Washington Street after getting into an argument with a man. That man was shot twice and survived. The 15-year-old girl was hit and she died. Butler is now facing several charges, including murder.
Well, we have a very wet pattern as moisture is streaming across North Georgia tonight. I'm meteorologist Samantha Moore, and we've been watching this rain all day long. It's a little more showery at the moment, but we have had times with some very heavy downpours and some lightning with some of these cells. And Marble Hill, just east of Tate, one of our 11Alive storm trackers telling us, yes, kept hearing the booms and saw the lightning here. And we're seeing that line kind of extend back towards Floyd County as well. So mainly showers with some intermittent heavier downpours. Of course, that's causes some concerns about flooding tonight here in northeast Fulton County along Big Creek, where we have a flood warning that's in place until Saturday. Saturday is when they expect it to crest. But we have more heavy storms back into northern Alabama. Those will be heading in our direction during the overnight hours as we continue to see rain ride along that warm frontal boundary. So coming up, we'll time it out and let you know. We're going to expect those heavier downpours and maybe hear the rumbles of thunder.
All right, Sam, we'll see in a couple of minutes. A group of neighbors now taking their fight to the federal level. They are pushing for a new investigation into the Fulton County court system. One woman from Buckhead who wrote a letter to the U.S. Attorney General is pleading for help. She says she's fed up with repeat offenders getting out on bond and given probation. Caitlin Ross spoke with her today about what she wants to see changed.
All of us are frustrated. All of us are frustrated with the number of gangs, the number of shootings, the number of muggings, the number of robberies. We're all frustrated.
Daryl Cohen works as a criminal defense attorney and sees the problems with the court system up close, but doesn't think it's Fulton County District Attorney Paul Howard's fault. The letter Amber Connor sent to U.S. Attorney General William Barr alleges the DA doesn't go far enough to curb crime in Atlanta, and that he's intentionally keeping the court system in chaos.
He is going to prosecute every case that he possibly can. And he can be accused of being a politician, which he is, a district attorney, which he is.
Well, DA Howard told 11Alive he read the letter. He said he would wait to comment on it until the Attorney General responds. But this summer, he expressed frustration that judges in Fulton County grant bond to violent offenders, even when the district attorney's office opposes it.
This has happened over and over in our system.
Atlanta police, too, have called the judges out for being too lenient on offenders. This is what APD said after a teenager out on bond for allegedly shooting up an apartment complex with an assault rifle was arrested for a shooting near Clark Atlanta University's campus after getting out on bond in the other case.
We are very strong in our position that our court systems need to stand up, and we need to do better with this.
Cohen agrees this is a problem, but he thinks it should be the problem of people here in Atlanta, not Washington, D.C.
There is not an easy answer.
Okay, so a spokesperson for the Fulton County Superior Court says that they have reviewed the letter but have no comment for the on the call for the federal investigation, and we're still waiting to hear back from the Attorney General's office. In tonight's Speed Feed, 2 young people are now charged with starting an apartment fire in Gwinnett County that left nearly 30 people homeless. Police arrested 18-year-old Gary McKinley and a child who's charged as a minor. Investigators say the two were lighting fireworks off in the breezeway Monday night when the fire just started at the landmark Bella Vista Apartments. The fast-moving flames destroyed the building. Red Cross is now doing what it can to help people who live there. And Chick-fil-A is taking some items off the menu. Our partners at the Atlanta Business Chronicle says the restaurant chain is testing modified menus in select North Carolina and Arizona restaurants. Gone are the original chicken strips, the grilled cool wrap, and the decaf coffee. Instead, the restaurant will test 3 new spicy entrees at some Charlotte locations. Well, the end of 2019 was very good for President Trump's re-election campaign, while a pair of his Democratic rivals smashed their own fundraising records. Today, President Trump's 2020 campaign announced that it raised $46 million over the final 3 months of 2019, and it ended up with more than $102 million. Senators Bernie Sanders raised more than $34 million in the fourth quarter. That's more than any other Democratic candidate there. But Andrew Yang also topped his previous fundraising record with $16.5 million. But you're not going to see him on stage in Iowa for the next Democratic debate, as he has not met the polling qualification. 2020 promises to be a contentious year in Georgia and across our country. One of the people at the center of it will be the political newcomer, Kelly Loeffler, the businesswoman appointed to the U.S. Senate seat, was in Savannah today. 11Alive's Doug Richards spent time with her today.
Kelly Loeffler is an Atlanta businesswoman wearing two hats, that of rookie political candidate and that of Georgia's newest soon-to-be U.S. Senator. When she visited the Port of Savannah, she mostly left the candidate hat at home. Loeffler emerged from a windshield tour of the sprawling port, the fourth busiest in North America, run by the state government, carefully protected by state leaders. Loeffler's visit was in her official capacity, but her two roles as senator and candidate will likely merge later this month when she may have the opportunity to cast a vote supporting President Trump's case against impeachment.
I don't think that there was due process followed in the House proceedings.
We asked Loeffler if she had an obligation as a senator to objectively review the evidence against Trump.
We'll certainly do that, but do not see that this partisan process needs to go any further.
Before she left the Port of Savannah, Loeffler said that she expects to retain much of Senator Isaacson's staff when she assumes her Senate seat next week.
All right, this is a really sad story. Georgia Tech football recruit Bryce Gowdy was expected to move to Atlanta this weekend and begin classes on Monday. But Gowdy, a four-star football recruit, died earlier this week after he was hit by a train in Florida. The medical examiner ruled his death a suicide. 11Alive's Joe Henke spoke with Gowdy's uncle today about the stress the young man lived after his family recently became homeless.
Well, as a youngin', he was kind of forced to be an adult. His father was in and out of his life because of, decision-making.
Thomas Gowdy says his nephew Bryce Gowdy thought of himself as a father figure to his younger brothers, and he did what he could to take care of them.
Every summer, he either came and worked with me, or he worked with my father and I with our family business to get extra money to help feed the family.
In the past 6 months, though, Bryce's uncle says financial problems set in, leaving Bryce, his mom, and brothers homeless.
My aunt, my dad, and I was the main ones, helping them financially. They were bouncing from hotel to hotel room. I had just fed them days ago because he came to me saying they had to move again.
Bryce played high school football in Deerfield Beach, Florida, and committed to playing at Georgia Tech after being recruited by head coach Jeff Collins' program.
What do you love about Bryce Gowdy? When you turn on the tape, he's just making plays all over the place. Great size, great speed, great athleticism.
On Sunday, a day before his death, Gowdy tweeted a picture saying family matters. Can't wait to get to the ATL soon.
He was very excited to meet his new Georgia Tech family. He was happy.
Bryce's uncle says his nephew, though, struggled with the stress of moving away from his mom and brothers.
And we were basically motivating him and letting him know, you're going to be okay. You don't have to worry about your brothers because once you step through that door on campus, your life will change.
As a Division I student athlete, Bryce knew he would have a place to live and food to eat, but his family did not have the same promise.
He knew he was going to be all right. His worry wasn't him. It was his brothers.
All right, so in a statement on Monday, Georgia Tech's football coach said that his team is devastated, obviously, and they're now offering their condolences to Bryce Gowdy's family. Georgia Tech's social media pages have been putting out messages in support, and a GoFundMe for his family has exceeded $50,000, a $50,000 goal. People are sharing their condolences over on our 11Alive Facebook page, and you can head over there right now and join the conversation. By the way, if you or someone you know is having suicidal thoughts, please call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. Someone is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and it's free. Just call the number right there on your screen if you need some help. Ringing in 2020 also means reminding yourself to write the correct year when you date things. Next on Primetime News, we're verifying claims that you should never abbreviate this year as just 20, just 20. It's a consumer alert you don't want to miss. And don't forget, folks, we're streaming right now on 11Alive's YouTube channel. Subscribe and join the conversation in the community section. We've got more 11Alive News Primetime after the break.
You see? Everybody has learned how to drive, so I'm going to go ahead and retire.
It didn't last long. Crank up your morning rush with Crash Clark. Weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m. on 11Alive. Traffic brought to you by John Foy & Associates.
I woke up at 2 in the morning to be here. Where were you?
Once you allow it, right, then it sets you up for the entire week where you just have lost it.
Like on a Sunday, it's like, oh, let's just order some Chinese food, and of course you wind up eating tons of that. And then on Monday, you're like, well, I got leftovers, I can't let it go to waste.
Auntie wants to give you a plate to take home from the barbecue.
Auntie.
Auntie, don't invite me to the barbecue.
I'm gonna be looking for you next time, so use the hashtag and let us know you're hanging out with us. Morning Rush, weekdays 5 to 7 a.m. only on 11Alive.
The 11Alive app is your go-to source for all things Atlanta.
You hear what happened today? I'll tell you all about it.
Breaking news the moment it happens.
The boil water advisory.
Hyper-local, accurate weather alerts.
You may want to grab that sweater, maybe even a coat.
More stories to uncover. More videos to discover.
He did it his way.
Personalized for you.
And that's what makes it so special.
The 11Alive app. Available now in the App Store.
Hey, I got the ways to go. I got moves to make, homie, but I stay in the flow. See, I just do what I say I'm gonna do. No, my movement ain't faded. You could assume it.
Okay, as you know, every year there's that adjustment period where you have to remind yourself not to write 2019 to make sure you date things 2020. Well, another thing to try to remember here, folks, is some people claim never to abbreviate this year as just 20 or 20 because it opens you up easily to fraud. Now, we have our verified team breaking all of this down. Here's Jason Puckett.
When signing and dating legal documents, do not use 20 as the year 2020. That post from a police department, and it's just one example of the post we've seen. Basic idea, when you write the date, like January 1st, 2020, make sure you write out the full year, 2020, and don't shorten it to just 20. Why? Well, the argument is that it's incredibly easy for someone to take that 20 and change it to any other year this century. Say you write a check for February 1st, 20, and you pay someone with it. They write 2021 or 2022 and cash it years later when you don't expect it. Or what about a legal contract? You agree to a job starting April 1st, 20 and ending June 1st, 20. Then they change it to say you started in 2019 and don't end until 2024. Yeah, it's a frightening concept that a fraudster could just completely change the date. But would it actually work? Well, it definitely could. For checks, there are laws regarding their expiration. The U.S. Uniform Commercial Code, for instance, says banks don't have to honor a check after 6 months. So a check in February can only be cashed through August, right? Well, not if you just put 20. Now, they could write 2021 and cash it from February through August of the next year and on and on. Simply put, this would be hard to stop. So these posts are good advice. It's worth taking the extra half second to write out the full year 2020. But keep in mind, in our digital age, it's increasingly easier to fake photos, videos, and even documents. Someone can still digitally edit something to defraud you, even if you wrote the full date. Now, we're not saying that to scare you, more to point out that while this tip is a good one, it's also great advice to keep your own copies of documents and agreements. If you take a picture of a check or legal agreement, you have proof that something was changed, which will make getting it fixed a whole lot easier.
Okay, well, we're watching that rain continue to move across North Georgia tonight. It has been heavy at times. Right now, I think we can call it a little more showery with some embedded heavier downpours here. So we're watching that from north of Rome till just north of Gainesville, stretching in towards North Fulton. We've had some heavy rain tonight. That caused a flood warning along Big Creek earlier. And we're also watching some very heavy thunderstorms off across northern Alabama. And some of those could likely kind of scrape North Georgia during the overnight hours. So we'll be watching for that potential as storms continue to move right along the boundary of this warm front that's across the southeast. And behind that warm front, we're in the southern flow here, the southern sector, the warm sector, of the cold front. And with that southerly flow, temperatures are going to continue to go up as we head into overnight and into the first part of tomorrow. So we have a chance for thunderstorms coming from the Storm Prediction Center, but I think that warmer air mass will make things a little more unstable tomorrow. So they've given us a chance for isolated severe storms, primarily east of 85, south of 20 here. So we'll have to watch for that potential as we head into tomorrow midday till about early evening, I think is going to be the timing there. And we're still going to have to watch for the flood potential here across far northwest Georgia, particularly until tomorrow evening. So something we need to keep our eye on as that flood potential continues with that heavy rain heading into night. We're looking at Rome right now with the shiny streets. Winds aren't too bad, but the winds will be picking up as we head in towards the weekend. And the latest drought update came in today. And it showed that we don't have any drought, and we didn't last week either. We have to go all the way to southwest Georgia to even find drying conditions, and east of Panama City to find drought in Florida. So things have definitely moistened up from where we were before, and this is still beneficial rain. We could still use this in the coffers, just hopefully we won't get too much too quickly like we already have in some spots tonight. Let's go ahead and look at those temps, how they've been impacted by all this rain today. We have been flat all day long. Temperatures were in the mid to upper 40s, and now they're just starting to rise. So we'll probably have our high temperature at around 6, 7 in the morning tomorrow, or a little bit later in mid-morning. As far as today's high, it's probably going to be around midnight because we're going to keep rising up during the evening hours. So 48 was our afternoon high after morning low of 46. We should be around 52 and 34. And by the way, picked up 3/4 of an inch so far today. There will be more coming in though, however, tonight. So temperatures are still on the coolish side right now if you're out, but they're going to be on the rise as we head into the overnight hours, getting up into the mid-60s. By the time you head up and at 'em tomorrow, with a 90% chance of morning showers for the commute. So we're going to continue to see these showers off and on tonight, and then we'll see that first line moving in tomorrow. That's going to be right around the morning commute in Rome and Dalton, and then pushing in through mid-morning here in the Atlanta area. Looks like they kind of flare up here at around lunchtime from Marietta into Carrollton. So heads up, things could get a little bumpy here during the middle of the day with some strong thunderstorms, maybe isolated chance for severe. Could be some limbs down. There could be some trees down once again. And then we'll continue to see that line move through during the afternoon. So by tomorrow evening, we'll see those temperatures dropping a little bit, but still showery conditions for date night on Friday night. So we're looking at a 100% chance of rain on our Friday off and on. Getting into Saturday, we still have morning showers to contend with, and then clearing in the afternoon. It'll be breezy and cool. Sunday looks like the best half of the weekend, but it's going to be cold with the winds blowing. Temperatures will be in the 40s most of the day. And then we're looking at Monday, starting out with a 10 on the wazometer, drying it out, looking lovely as kids go back to school with temperatures pretty close to where they should be this time of year.
All right, thanks a lot, Sam. If you've never lost your home, you may not even think about this, folks, but how to turn a new temporary place of housing into a space of calm. But one woman has been showing people how to do this for more than a decade. Now she's lending her expertise to our city's largest homeless services provider as it works to build a new shelter for women and children. Sheba Russell has our story.
This is a queuing station so that somebody can come in here and rest comfortably.
Early renderings of an airport lounge-inspired waiting room, floor plans, pictures of a bright lobby, and multicolored play areas for big and little kids. It's a sneak peek of what you may see when Atlanta Mission's new homeless shelter for women and children opens its doors on the west side next year. Interior designer and Florida State professor Jill Pobley is a consultant on the project.
Everything sends a message of experience. What we're really trying to do is transcend color, texture, and pattern.
It would be the city's first low-barrier shelter. This means women suffering from drug abuse, domestic violence issues, and mothers with boys over the age of 13 will be welcomed with open arms. The 100-bed shelter being designed to meet their needs.
But one thing we're including in the space is our de-escalation rooms. Rooms nearby where the reception area is, so that if somebody is acting out or having an emotional moment, a staff person can gently take them to that room to let them calm down. We're including seating arrangements with what's called protected back orientation, so that the seating is against a wall or it's against a place a woman can feel she can defend herself.
Pobley says when it comes to designing spaces for people facing trauma and crisis, little things matter, like warm lighting, calming paint colors, and clear signage.
What people need who have experienced homelessness is quite often what we want. We want a sense of privacy. We want a sense of being able to protect our family members and the possessions that we have. We want a way to express ourselves. And all of those things are what we share generally.
Okay, so groundbreaking for the new shelter is set for this spring, and 11Alive is proud to partner with the Atlanta Mission to make a difference in the lives of the women and children facing homelessness in our city. So you have until tomorrow to make a donation. Your money will be used to help build the shelter, and you will automatically be entered into the Building Hope and a Future Dream Home sweepstakes. One lucky prize, grand prize winner will receive an amazing home in the Brock-built West Highlands neighborhood, valued at $400,000. Just go to atlantamission.org/sweepstakes and donate for your chance to win. Again, the sweepstakes ends tomorrow. All right, coming up after the break, the world's busiest airport is now smoke-free. Like entertainers say, the smoke ban at Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport is a major victory.
It happens.
The boil water advisory.
Hyper-local, accurate weather alert.
You may want to grab that sweater, maybe even a coat.
More stories to uncover. More videos to discover.
He did it his way.
Personalized for you.
And that's what makes it so special.
The 11Alive app. Available now in the App Store.
Hey, I got the ways to go. I got moves to make, homie, but I stay in the flow. So I just do what I say I'm gonna do. No, movement ain't fading. You could assume it.
Oh, and so I was saying, there is always something filming here in Atlanta. From movies to TV shows, you name it. And so the A Scene keeps up with all of it for you. Casting calls, which big celebrities are in town, what's filming, and if it's in your neighborhood. It's like an inside scoop.
Oh, nice. But you know, I really wish you would have told us we were filming this today.
Ooh, did I not text you? All right. Ah, it's in my drafts. That's my bad.
So you slept in and you missed morning rush, huh? Well, here's what you missed. In my experience, good guys do finish last.
I consider myself a nice guy. I've got the most beautiful woman in the world in my eyes.
You're a nice guy too,
Yeah.
Jeff.
I'm saying in my experience, when growing up, good guys didn't finish last.
Somebody broke his heart somewhere along the line.
We're here every weekday morning, so come on, hang out with us. Morning Rush, weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m., only on 11Alive.
Televised newscast not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
You didn't get my text? The whole crew got together for coffee this morning. I'm learning the taste of water, because I'm sugary. Yeah, right.
about that?
Reward would be
Slimming down. Okay.
Yes.
right?
Okay.
Yeah, a little water in my
yes.
cup.
And beautiful skin. You know, even more beautiful skin, you know, when it's all hydrated and everything else. I'm not gonna be able to sit next to you in a few months.
Don't drink your morning coffee alone.
All right, starting today, there is no smoking inside Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. The city of Atlanta passed an ordinance in July. It bans smoking and vaping inside enclosed public areas like hotels, workplaces, and even the smoking rooms inside the airport. So if you're caught smoking, you can face a $200 fine. Now, some welcome this change. Others say they don't like it.
I was looking forward to that, thinking, oh, you know what, I can go early. I don't mind going early because I can go find that smoking lounge and inside and just relax. Yeah, this is crazy.
Well, one group is now celebrating the city's decision. Atlanta Entertainers there, Atlanta-based nonprofit organization Entertainers Speak Out, calls the ban a victory. They say secondhand smoke can damage an artist's vocal cords, which ultimately impacts their overall livelihood.
We've got an opportunity to change lives, change careers, be able to impact a community that's being devastated by these toxic chemicals and what it's doing to us that are entertainers and hospitality workers in our workplace. And we have a saying that they don't smoke on your job, so why should they smoke on ours? This is what we do to make a living.
Well, the group plans to host a smoke-free party to celebrate this weekend. Other artists who endorsed the decision include musician Santa Foster and the daughter of B.B. King, Claudette King. Coming up.
You know, we never thought anything of it until that first paycheck came.
Or didn't come.
Right.
These men were promised six-figure salaries. They ended up with nothing. A reveal investigation coming up on Prime Time on the WATL.
I'm talking murals, sculptures, photography. This beautiful mural was created by the artist Hints. It's 100 feet long, and even though it was created in 2014, it still remains very popular to musicians and photographers alike. You can find it on the East Side Trail under Virginia Avenue. So let me know what you think. It doesn't have to be street art. Maybe your favorite spot is down the street from your home or a great view. Connect with me on Facebook and Instagram and share your favorite Instagram spots in Atlanta. And come hang out with me on Morning Rush, weekdays 5 to 7 a.m. on 11Alive.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
I haven't seen you in a while. Where you been?
It looks like fun.
They are fun.
And they're
convenient. But they're being dumped everywhere.
5,000 scooters at one time active throughout the city. I enjoy them myself. They're fun. There's got to be some regulations.
I just feel like we have to evolve with the times, though. They're not going anywhere. They shouldn't go anywhere. It's a new way of transporting. We have to evolve.
I'm going to be looking for you next time, so use the hashtag and let us know you're hanging out with us. Morning Rush, weekdays 5 to 7 a.m.
You see them all day, every day. Headlines, stats, and numbers, but without context, they're just clickbait. So let's add some perspective. The 3 most interesting numbers of the day, what they mean, and why they're important. News and numbers on Up Late.
What's the best part about
Your voice, it is never too loud or too much. Your voice has the power to tell it like it is.
Bringing us together to act.
Together, our voices grow. Together, we come alive, amplifying voices and breaking down barriers to change the story and shape the future. Together, we are unstoppable. Together, we are where Atlanta speaks.
Remember the old days, the old cliffhangers when we used to watch shows?
Hey,
and
cliffhangers.
They would, they didn't wait the next week. You were, oh, what's going to happen to the $6 million man? He was hanging with his one bionic arm.
Morning Rush, weekdays 5 to 7 a.m. Only on 11Alive.
Atlanta. Almost 6 million people call the Metro home. But what makes this place so great? I'm 11Alive's Chesley McNeil. I'm going to give you 3 reasons why Atlanta is the best city in America. Come on, man. It's the heart of the South. And it's one of the most diverse cities around. People from all walks of life have come here and made it home. From different backgrounds, languages, and religions. And who can forget about the food? They all make this a cultural melting pot, full of great people and Southern hospitality. Atlanta.
Hello, welcome to The Reveal in Primetime. I'm Chief Investigator Brendan Keith. How many job postings online are real, and how can you tell if one of them is fake? More than a dozen Atlanta workers are asking that question tonight after they worked for months for a ghost company. How long would you work without a paycheck?
You know, we never thought anything of it until that first paycheck came.
Or it didn't come.
Right.
There's 14 of you who all were these regional vice presidents,
Right.
6-figure salaries, and you're all in the same boat.
Right.
Not a penny, right?
Right.
You haven't been paid a single penny.
Not a dime.
These executives were all hired by United Freedom Group.
One of our 3 o'clock conference calls, that's what came up.
Now their CEO won't even take their calls.
I'm sorry, but the person you called has a voicemail box that has not been set up yet. Goodbye.
We got played.
You wanted the opportunity, like we always said. You still had your toolbox. You still had a lot of ability within that toolbox to offer a company. And we thought that this was maybe going to be it.
For William Rush and his wife, it was all about the full coverage health insurance.
I'm a type 1 diabetic. You know, I'm having to go right now to a free clinic up in Gainesville to get my medical supplies that I need. That's humbling.
This is it. This is
the building we were supposed to be at. That's correct.
Edwin Sanchez moved to Atlanta from New Jersey to take a job as regional vice president for United Freedom Group.
It was 100,000 base plus commissions. In our first year, we were looking at 200,000. In our second year, we will be looking at 400,000.
So you came here to the office and they said, we can't let you in.
Yes, I came here and they told me I was not allowed in because they had never received payment whatsoever on the premises.
Blueprints and photographs showed where their offices would be in this gleaming luxury building.
But he was looking for about 27,000 square foot to fit in 24 offices. And as we advanced,
an additional 24 offices with a wide open space of about 15,000 square foot.
We discovered those pictures were lifted right from online ads posted by the leasing company.
There was 14 of us, and we never met the CEO at all. This guy, AJ, and we never met him.
What is his name?
AJ Johnson.
AJ Johnson. Do you think that's a real name?
I don't know.
That's a pretty generic name. It's hard to track.
He first told us his name was AJ. Then 2 weeks later into the conversation, he told us his real name was Mike.
Do you think AJ Johnson really exists, or is it somebody else? Is this just a fake name?
I think it's fake.
The guy's just a ghost.
This is all they have to go on, a single screen grab from a Skype call.
If it wasn't for that I told one of the guys, take that picture, we wouldn't have anything.
AJ Johnson, whoever he is, sends texts every couple of weeks, offering apologies and promises of payment. My wife is close to death. I will go to the bank on Monday.
You know, there was every kind of hiccup and roadblock that you could come up with.
The investors pulled out. Federal government now has my money. Federal government released the money, but now the bank has our money. The bank released the money, but now my wife is sick in the hospital and she's dying.
What he kept on doing, I was on a Friday afternoon, was always at 5, making sure that our banks were closed.
The web registration for UnitedFreedomGroup.org is hidden by Domains by Proxy, a company with the slogan, "Your identity is nobody's business but ours." And the law firm that incorporated the company in Wyoming offers anonymous online filings for $199. The address listed as United Freedom Group's corporate headquarters is 201 East 5th Street in Sheridan, Wyoming. The law firm is at 905 Broadway. Those two addresses intersect at the very same building. Is that suspicious?
It is now, yeah.
Does that rail depot in Sheridan, Wyoming look like a corporate headquarters to you?
No, it doesn't.
An anonymous corporate filing, a hidden website registration, a CEO with a generic name, and invisible paychecks. Who recruited you?
Actually, it was Indeed for Hire.
Indeed.com.
Indeed.com. They have an arm that actually does recruiting for companies.
You were recruited for this job, right?
Yes, by Indeed.
So Indeed.com, Indeed for Hire, actually contacted you, not the other way around.
That's correct.
When they call you up, you think they're legitimate because it's Indeed.
Indeed.com told us we are appalled by the fraudulent behavior that United Freedom Group has exhibited with employees hired through our platform. We have banned United Freedom Group from posting jobs on Indeed, and we are working to implement new measures to prevent similar instances in the future.
We take the position it doesn't go well, and the only time we hear from Indeed is when they want to find out if we know anything about AJ, because they're looking for him as well because he hasn't paid them. Not that they haven't paid us, but they haven't paid Indeed.
The United Freedom Group's website is still up, but it was locked down right after we sent a text to AJ Johnson asking for his side of the story. Like his employees and their paychecks, we got nothing. Did investors really fall through? Did they ever even really exist?
Did they exist?
Could this even be just the machinations of a deranged individual?
I tell you what, he's got a hell of an imagination.
We still don't know why this happened. The startup was designed as an unusual combination of for-profit political action committee, discount membership club, and a pyramid scheme. The company's social media posts contain hundreds of political memes that are strikingly similar to those spread by foreign bots posing as Americans as part of a disinformation campaign connected to Russian intelligence. You can see more in-depth investigations like this one by going to our website, 11alive.com. And don't forget to watch The Reveal, the only local investigative show in the nation. It airs Sundays at 6 on our sister station, 11Alive.
Rounds and rounds of rain moving in, so we're still going to have a very wet night tonight, and watch out for areas of fog. Even when the rain kind of dwindles for a while, there'll be some areas of fog forming. We're looking at more rain moving in through Coweta County, stretching on up towards Fulton County right now, and still have some showers across the North Georgia mountains, and we have seen a lot of rain across North Georgia so far. So more rain coming still over northern Alabama, where some strong storms are likely headed our way as we head towards towards our Friday, and it's all moving over this area of warm air. We're in the warm sector here of a frontal system, and that's going to bring our temperatures up overnight. So a bit of a roller coaster ride with the temps here. Will be rainy and foggy tonight with those temperatures rising up to around 66 degrees at sunrise. Getting into Friday, showers and thunderstorms to start, more than an inch throughout the day, and some spots could get even more than that. And warming to near 70 degrees by lunchtime. And then check this out, on Saturday, we'll have those lingering showers in the morning, and then temperatures drop into the 40s during the evening hours. It's going to feel like we're near freezing right around 8 o'clock on Saturday night. It'll be cold and blustery. So coming up, we'll time it out for you and let you know when to expect the strongest storms.
All right, Sam, see you in a couple of minutes. And tonight's Speed Feed, police say a man was killed when he was shot in the face. This is all near the 5 Points MARTA station. It's one of the busiest stations in Atlanta. Police say they have a suspect in custody, but they're not saying, giving us a lot of details yet into what led up to the shooting, the motive. Be sure to download the 11Alive app for breaking news alerts as we learn more about this incident. A tumbling semi-truck crashing into several cars after driving off the roadway today. It happened as traffic was backed up on Jimmy Carter Boulevard. The Georgia State Patrol says the truck slammed into two other vehicles before it went down an embankment, flipped over, and landed in a quick trip parking lot. 9 other vehicles were damaged in that incident. State Patrol is still looking into it. No word on injuries. Tonight, new body cam video shows the moments a man crashed his car and then jumped 40 feet from the freeway to escape a traffic stop that was not meant for him. The video shows an Atlanta police officer following the man who took off on foot after his car crashed on Interstate 85. This was right near Piedmont Road early this morning. Then the man leaps over the concrete wall. Did we not mention 40 feet? That's a long ways. He got away, but officers say they found a gun where he actually fell. Well, some Delta airline employees are suing Land's End over their uniforms, claiming it made them sick. 11Alive's Elwin Lopez has been going through the lawsuit for us tonight. Elwin?
Yeah, Ron, and the uniforms are advertised as wrinkle-free, stain-resistant, and waterproof. The lawsuit filed today claims that the chemicals used to make them as advertised are actually causing serious health problems. Hair loss, fatigue, rashes. The plaintiffs say those are just some of the issues they are currently having. Land's End got the contract to make the uniforms in 2016. Now the plaintiffs are asking them to recall the clothes and pay damages. Delta saying in a statement tonight that their top priority continues to be the safety of our employees, adding that they invested in a rigorous toxicology study to determine if there was a universal scientific issue with the uniform, saying that the results of the study confirmed our, quote, uniforms meet the highest textile standards, with the exception of the optional flight attendant apron, which was removed from the collection. Now, we also reached out to Land's End. They say they won't comment on any pending litigation. Ron?
All right, thanks a lot. Whitney Houston treated him like a son. Now, Nick Gordon is dead. Less than 5 years after the death of his girlfriend, Houston's daughter, Bobby Christina. New evidence connecting 3 deaths tonight.
Find more passionate fans anywhere. From the Atlanta Braves home run king, my man Hank Aaron, to the human highlight film Hawks Dominique Wilkins, some of the greatest athletes have come through Atlanta. We're talking the Falcons, the Braves, the Hawks, the MLS champs, Atlanta United. This city has something for every kind of sports fan. So what do you think? Is Atlanta the best city in America? Connect with us. Use Facebook or Instagram and tell us why this city's got it going on. And then watch us every weekday morning from 5 to 7 on the Morning Rush on 11Alive.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
Babe, where are my keys?
Where's my lunch?
Where's my phone? Hey, where's my blue shirt?
Where's my pen? Have you seen it?
Everybody has learned how to drive, so I'm going to go ahead and retire.
It didn't last long. Crank up your morning rush with Crash Clark. Weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m. on 11Alive. Traffic brought to you by John Foy & Associates.
I woke up at 2 in the morning to be here.
Where were you? Once you allow it, right, then it sets you up for the entire week where you just have lost it.
Like on a Sunday, it's like, oh, let's just order some Chinese food, and of course you wind up eating tons of that. And then on Monday, you're like, well, I got leftovers, I can't let it go to waste.
Auntie wants to give you a plate to take home from the barbecue.
Auntie!
Auntie, don't invite me to the barbecue.
I'm gonna be looking for you next time, so use the hashtag and let us know you're hanging out with us. Morning Rush, weekdays 5 to 7 a.m. only on 11Alive.
The 11Alive app is your go-to source for all things Atlanta.
You hear what happened today? I'll tell you all about it.
Breaking news the moment it happens.
The boil water advisory.
Hyper-local, accurate weather alert.
You may want to grab that sweater, maybe even a coat.
More stories to uncover. More videos to discover.
He did it his way.
Personalized for you.
And that's what makes it so special.
The 11Alive app. Available now in the App Store.
Hey, I got the ways to go. I got moves to make, homie, but I stay in the flow. So y'all just do what I say I'ma do. No, no, movement ain't fading. You could assume it.
Oh, and so I was saying, there is always something filming here in Atlanta. From movies to TV shows, you name it. And so the A Scene keeps up with all of it for you. Casting calls, which big celebrities are in town, what's filming, and if it's in your neighborhood. It's like an inside scoop.
Oh, nice. But you know, I really wish you would have told us we were filming this today.
Ooh, did I not text you? All right.
All right, more details coming out today about Nick Gordon's death in Florida. His family hinted at a possible drug overdose. This is the latest chapter in a tragic story of Whitney Houston's extended family and their struggles with addiction. If Gordon's cause of death is proven to be drugs, he'd be the third person in Houston's inner circle to die from those circumstances in less than 10 years. So today, we learned that Nick was at a Sheraton hotel in Maitland, Florida, a suburb of Orlando. Paramedics were called to his room a little after 5 a.m. yesterday. TMZ got a copy of the 911 dispatcher's call, which gives us some insight into the situation at the hotel. Listen in.
Patient is 30-year-old male, not conscious, not breathing. Caller advised, black stuff coming out of his mouth, and he is not breathing.
So Gordon was then taken to the hospital and pronounced dead shortly thereafter. His brother said on social media the death was an overdose. Experts say that black discharge that the dispatcher talked about that you heard there in the call is often a sign of opioid overdose, but it could take weeks before the autopsy or toxicology reports actually are complete. Gordon, by the way, lived with Whitney Houston and her family in their Alpharetta home from the age of 12. After Houston died, he started dating her daughter, Bobby Christina. 3 years after her mom's death, Bobby Christina also died. The medical examiner found drugs and alcohol in her system. Gordon was found responsible for her death in a civil lawsuit. Our Atticus investigators took a deeper dive into Brown and Gordon's relationship in their series, The Triangle. It's an investigation into the spike in heroin-related deaths in Metro Atlanta's wealthy suburbs. Watch exclusive interviews in the As Seen on TV section of the 11Alive app.
Well, we're looking at that rain just continue across North Georgia tonight. It has been such a soggy day. Some spots picking up some 2 inches of rain. It's been raining since early this morning, and it started to cause some problems in some spots that don't drain all of that well. We're seeing that rain move back into the south side of 285 right now, moving right up the 85 freeway interstate towards the city. And we're looking at showers across North Georgia as well, although they're moving out pretty quickly, and we're not seeing the heavy downpours that we did earlier, like in North Fulton and South Forsyth and Western Gwinnett, and they ended up issuing a flood warning here along Big Creek in Forsyth and Fulton County, and it's expected to crest on Saturday because we still have a lot more rain to come. We're seeing some heavy thunderstorms across northern Alabama. Those will likely scoot through as we head into the early morning hours, and we're looking at that rain extend well back into the Gulf of Mexico associated with a frontal system. We're in the warm sector right now, so our temperatures are going to go go up around 15 degrees by the time we head out the door tomorrow morning, despite all of the rainfall here. Looking out over Rome, their streets are still shiny. They have had rain pretty much all day long and into the evening, too. That's why they have that flood watch that is in place across northwest Georgia from Floyd County northward into Dade County. 2 to 3 inches of rain will likely be possible before all is said and done, with some higher amounts in some spots. And flooding is certainly a distinct possibility. So let's talk about the effects that we're going to see as this frontal system pushes in. We could see some storms. Now tonight, not as great a chance as there will be tomorrow. In fact, the Storm Prediction Center giving us a chance for isolated severe storms really south of I-20 and east of 85. So it's more on the south side, but we can't rule out a chance for an isolated severe storm really anywhere across North Georgia as this system moves in, especially since we're warming up. It's going to make the atmosphere more unstable. So showers out there tonight. This is midnight, widespread showers. Then we'll watch this first line on approach. I think we're going to be pretty stable overnight. We won't have warmed up that much. It will be okay, I think, just showery with occasional downpours and isolated thunderstorm. But getting into tomorrow morning, that's when this other line moves in. These could be kind of nasty mid-morning. It looks like we could have some very heavy rain. Gusty winds are going to be the main problem in terms of severe storm potential on our Friday. So from Carrollton stretching into Cobb County, as we head towards lunchtime, this will be peak heating. This is when we're going to come close to 70 degrees as these storms roll on in, and then they continue to march across the area early afternoon on our Friday. So it may be really nasty to be out here on the road. You may want to pack your lunch in tomorrow and not have to get out if possible. And those storms continue to move to the east as we head through our Friday evening, late afternoon, early evening. In Athens, they could have some strong storms potentially as well. And into the overnight we go, and it's still going to be showery as we head into our Saturday morning, and then big temperature drop comes in behind this system. So for tonight, those temps going up, those chances for rain staying very high, around 80 or 90% overnight tonight. Then check out these temperatures. We're going to be up close to 70 degrees by lunchtime, and then we're dropping down into the 50s. And here we go on Saturday, and that cold air comes flooding in. We'll be in the 30s on Saturday night, but when the winds blow, it's going to feel like we're closer to 29, 30 degrees. It's going to be very cold on Saturday night if you're out on the town. So 100% chance of rain tomorrow, breezy and cool on Saturday. The rain should move out by the afternoon, so a wet start on Saturday, then drying out. It'll be breezy and cool and crisp on our Sunday with temperatures in the 40s most of the day and windy at times. And then Monday, a 10 on the wazometer as many of the kids finally get ready to go back to school.
The call didn't seem out of the ordinary for 2 Gwinnett County police officers, but it turned into something special. Somebody called police about a woman slumped over the steering wheel of her car. When they got there, they found out that car and the small number of things in it were all the woman had. She's homeless, and that parking space was her room for the night. The officers didn't throw the book at her. They helped her.
I don't have much. I mean, look at I'm a police officer, so I don't make that much money, but I'll try to do what I can for you, okay? All right?
The more Gwinnett officers Wilson and Valasis talked to her, the more she opened up about the struggles she's facing. She was almost out of money, the car almost out of gas. The officers didn't hesitate.
Would you want to follow me down the quick trip? I'd like to fill your tank up for you. Do you know those hotels right there? Okay, if I can, I'll get you a room.
They paid for the gas in her car and a safe, warm hotel room for the night with their own money. This happened a couple of weeks ago, but we're only sharing the story now because those 2 officers never talked about it. They didn't tell anyone back at the police station. They say they didn't do it for attention or for credit. And the only reason we know the story and can listen in on their conversation is because a supervisor happened to see that body cam video. They go through those videos as standard protocol. And that supervisor wanted the officers to get the recognition they never asked for, but deserved. And they want the public to know that these kinds of good things happen too.
And not every encounter has to be bad with police. I know nowadays you hear stuff on the news, you hear bad stories. I mean, an officer does something wrong, doesn't make all of us bad.
All right, tomorrow night on Dateline, a hiker goes missing on New Year's Day in 2008 in the North Georgia mountains. Now, law enforcement officers became really concerned after finding a police baton with some of her possessions on the trail of Blood Mountain. Could her disappearance be linked to 2 other cases with similar circumstances? Here's NBC's Dennis Murphy.
By nightfall, the search became all the more urgent as a cold front moved in, and temperatures on Blood Mountain plunged below zero. At daybreak, Thursday now, the friends were joined by deputies from the local sheriff's office. John Cagle, just shy of retirement, was the agent in charge for the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, the state's top cops.
We received a request from a local agency to help with a missing hiker.
The case of the hiker missing for 2 days didn't look good to the seasoned detective because of some disturbing items that had been recovered on the trail.
What were the things that were found out in that trail area that you thought were alarming?
A couple of water bottles, a dog leash, and a police expandable baton.
This is a piece of professional gear.
It is. It's just a metal pipe that is expandable. You see almost every uniformed police officer in the nation carrying these things.
Did those artifacts, the water bottle, the baton, found together, tell you a story at all or suggest something ominous?
Yes. And we found those items in an area where the ground had appeared to have been disturbed. Then we became concerned that possibly a struggle took place there. We eventually partnered with over 18 or 19 police agencies to help for the search for Meredith.
Her friends were naturally beside themselves.
You know, your heart just broke because you think something happened. Somebody had a weapon and her stuff was there.
All right, you can watch Mystery on Blood Mountain tomorrow night on Dateline at 9 o'clock on our sister station, 11Alive. All right, straight ahead. He was joined by other artists to paint murals of Colin Kaepernick after one was destroyed. Now he has a show that's all his own. A closer look next.
So you slept in and you missed Morning Rush, huh? Well, here's what you missed. In my experience, good guys do finish last.
I consider myself a nice guy. I've got the most beautiful woman in the world in my eyes.
You're a nice guy too,
Yeah.
I'm saying in my experience, when growing up, good guys didn't finish last.
Somebody broke his heart somewhere along the line.
We're here every weekday morning, so come on, hang out with us. Morning Rush, weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m., only on 11Alive.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
You didn't get my text? The whole crew got together for coffee this morning. I'm learning the taste of water, because I'm sugary.
Okay,
Right.
about that?
Well, reward would be
Slimming down. Okay,
Yes,
yeah.
okay. A little water in my cup.
And beautiful skin. You know, even more beautiful skin, you know, when it's all hydrated and everything else. I'm not going to be able to sit next to you in a few months.
Don't drink your morning coffee alone. Have it with us. Morning Rush, weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m., only on 11Alive.
Some mornings, what you want isn't what you have time for. And that's why there's the Rush Blog, the biggest news of the day in 5 minutes or less. Quick and convenient for all those hectic mornings. Catch the Rush Blog on the Morning Rush.
Everybody has learned how to drive, so I'm going to go ahead and retire.
It didn't last long. Crank up your morning rush with Crash Clark. Weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m. on 11Alive. Traffic brought to you by John Foy & Associates.
Atlanta is filled with great photo spots. And of course, I would know because this is my hometown. I'm 11Alive's Francesca Amaker, and I'm about to show you my picks for the 3 best Instagram spots in Atlanta. The OUTKAST mural is one of Atlanta's newest hotspots. Created by the artist Jex, people flock from all over the world just to get a shot of these 2 hip-hop legends. News of the mural went viral when Big Boy himself gave a shout out on Instagram. You can find it tucked away in a back parking lot in Little 5 Points. An Atlanta icon, ever-changing, always interesting. The Krog Street Tunnel is full of artwork from some pretty eclectic Atlanta artists.
All we feel is good vibe. When you vibe with it, it's a good time. We don't worry about the hate, we just pass it to the side.
There's graffiti, community messages, concert announcements. You really never know what you're gonna get here, and that's what makes it so special. You can find it between Cabbagetown and Inman Park. If you've never checked it out, it's a must-see.
You know, he is a member of a group known as the Kaepernick 7, but for the past few days in East Point, he's getting a show entirely focused on his work Craig Singleton, who goes by C-Flux, was recruited to create new murals of Colin Kaepernick. The original mural was destroyed just before the Super Bowl in Atlanta. Well, the GoFundMe to help make new murals raised more than $11,000. So now C-Flux has his own show called Heavy Clouds on display at the Arts Exchange. Now, we talked to him about the inspiration for his work.
My inspiration comes from life experiences, but my observation of all those things. The stuff that I think about is dealing with relationships, dealing with my own thought process, how I view this world, you know what I'm saying, how I view society, the different styles and things that I use. People may connect them to cartoons, people may connect them to comic strips, people may connect them to comic books even, and graffiti as well.
All right, so if you want to check it out, he says this exhibit features his signature use of African-American themes and that encompasses struggle, beauty, and humor. It's going to run through January 18th. He's also hosting an artist talk one-on-one next Saturday.
Okay, we're watching the rain move in still. Expect to see some showers moving in. They're moving up I-85, and this is just a light round, but we'll have many more rounds before things finally dry out on Saturday morning. So be careful, don't drive into any flooded roadways.
There you go, pretty soggy out there. I'm going to see you on 11Alive at 11 o'clock. However, Jeff Hollinger, he's standing by to come pick up Primetime News next.
Your voice, it is never too loud or too much. Your voice has the power to tell it like it is.
Bringing us together to act.
Together our voices grow. Together we come alive. Amplifying voices and breaking down barriers to change the story and shape the future. Together we are unstoppable. Together we are where Atlanta speaks.
Remember the old days, the old cliffhangers when we used to watch shows? And
cliffhangers.
They would wait the next week. You were, oh, what's going to happen to the $6 million man? He was hanging with his one bionic arm.
Morning Rush, weekdays 5 to 7 a.m. only on 11Alive.
Atlanta. Almost 6 million people call the Metro home. But what makes this place so great? I'm 11Alive's Chesley McNeil. I'm going to give you 3 reasons why Atlanta is the best city in America. Come on, man. It's the heart of the South. And it's one of the most diverse cities around. People from all walks of life have come here and made it home. From different backgrounds, languages, and religions, and who can forget about the food? They all make this a cultural melting pot, full of great people and Southern hospitality. Atlanta's rich history is unmatched, known as the cradle of the civil rights movement for good reason. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Andrew Young, John Lewis, they all fought in the struggle for equal rights right here. Businesses on Sweet Auburn Avenue, local black churches, and college students from Atlanta all helped shape the future of America. Once an Olympic city, Atlanta's home to the best sports scene across the nation. Hey look, the South has something to say. You won't find more passionate fans anywhere. From the Atlanta Braves home run king, my man Hank Aaron, to the human highlight film Hawks Dominique Wilkins, some of the greatest athletes have come through Atlanta. We're talking the Falcons, the Braves, the Hawks, the MLS champs, Atlanta United. This city has something for every kind of sports fan. So what do you think? Is Atlanta the best city in America? Connect with us. Use Facebook or Instagram and tell us why this city's got it going on. And then watch us every weekday morning from 5 to 7 on the Morning Rush on 11Alive.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
Babe, where are my keys?
Where's my lunch?
Where's my phone? Hey, where's my blue shirt?
Where's my pen? Have you seen it?
Everybody has learned how to drive, so I'm going to go ahead and retire.
It didn't last long. Crank up your morning rush with Crash Clark. Weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m. on 11Alive. Traffic brought to you by John Foy & Associates.
I woke up at 2 in the morning to be here. Where were you?
Once you allow it, right, then it sets you up for the entire week where you just have lost it.
Like on a Sunday, it's like, oh, what?
11Alive News Primetime on the ATL starts now.
Welcome, everyone. We're glad to have you on this Thursday night. I'm Jeff Hollinger. Our top story tonight, the weather. Cold and rainy. We take a look At the radar, if you were to look for the formal definition of weather in early January in Atlanta, this would be it right now. And now it's to an extreme. A flood watch is in effect for parts of our viewing area. Our meteorologist Samantha Moore is in the Storm Tracker Center, and it looks like a very tough start for a Friday commute that will be vexing, that's for sure.
It could be, and off and on throughout the day as well. We'll likely see some strong storms that could produce heavy downpours. We've already had our share of downpours today, too. We're seeing another round of showers, most of them light to moderate, but they're moving at a really fast clip, so winds are picking up here from inside the perimeter over towards Conyers, down I-20, or I should say east out I-20. And we're looking at a few showers moving in across Ellijay, Gilmer County, Fannin County, and Union County right now. But there is a lot more to come as we head into the overnight. We've already had our share of flooding concerns. Big Creek here has a flood warning that's in place through Saturday, expected to peak on Saturday, and a lot more rain to come. We have some very heavy storms in Alabama, and we're watching this off to the south. We expect to see a little energy move through early tomorrow and in through the midday and afternoon hours. It could produce some nasty thunderstorms. So for tonight, rainy and foggy. Temperatures actually on the rise because we're in the warm sector of the system right now. We should be around 66 degrees at sunrise. By the time we get to Friday day, during the day, it'll be a very soggy one with more than an inch, and Warmington near 70 degrees by lunchtime. And then temperatures fall on Saturday behind this front into the 40s. Cold and blustery Saturday night. We'll have all the timing on these storms and the details coming up in just a few minutes, Jeff.
Thank you, and you can keep track of the very latest forecasts by downloading the 11Alive News app. Turn on the notifications, we'll send you weather alerts, and it will go straight to your phone. Just tap the app. The family of a television sports reporter who died in that small plane crash last weekend are sharing their heartbreak. Carly McCord was on her way to Atlanta for the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl between LSU and Oklahoma when the plane crashed in Lafayette, Louisiana, killing her and 4 others on board. 11Alive's Elvin Lopez joins us, and we're hearing from both her husband and her parents.
Yeah, Jeff, it was an emotional interview. McCord's family tells NBC News just how much she touched the lives of those around her. McCord was among 4 others who were killed in that plane crash. Pilot Ian Biggs, passengers Gretchen Vincent and her son Michael, who went by Walker, and Robert Von Crisp II. The sole survivor there, Wade Bertans, who was critically injured. As investigators continue to look into the crash, families are still coming to terms with what happened. Here's what McCord's dad, Tracy, and her husband, Stephen Ensminger Jr., told NBC.
She just touched everybody that she came in contact with. There's really no other way to put it other than the fact that she was a shining light that made you shine when she was in the room.
She'll always be right there next to me, pushing me.
Her family says in just 30 years, McCord had a huge impact on those around her. She taught English to children in China, and a new scholarship will be made in her name for aspiring female broadcasters. Jeff.
All right, Ellen, very sad story. New at 10, guns, drugs, a car, even a show dog seized in a raid. And we have new developments in a months-long investigation that put suspected gang members off the street. The scene unfolded at 2 homes this afternoon, one in College Park, another in South Fulton. And the search warrant also located a prize-winning show dog that was stolen from a crime last month. Hope Ford breaks down the investigation, and she shows us how this all unfolded.
I'm here at the police department where the owner's friend was reunited with the stolen show dog. Now, the bigger investigation's been months in the making, and it came together after police were tipped off about illegal drug activity.
We identified illegal narcotics, stolen vehicle, seized stolen weapons. Out of the 14 weapons that were seized, 2 of them were stolen.
6 people were arrested after multiple police and sheriff agencies searched an apartment complex in Clayton County and a house in College Park. The massive case, the result of investigators tracking gangs and drugs.
Making sure that we're cleaning up the community.
But also recovered was Crayola, a prize-winning show dog.
It's like a family member, so you do whatever it takes to
to get him back.
Tommy Sorrow is a friend of Crayola's owner. Crayola and another dog, Hero, were stolen from a gas station in Conyers on December 6th. A few days later, Sorrow says their owner paid thousands to get Hero back, but Crayola was still missing.
All those thoughts go through your head, that she could be hurt, is she still alive?
Luckily, Sorrow got the chance to pick Crayola up from the police department.
Just awesome. My heart's beating real fast right now.
As the suspected gang members head to jail, Crayola will head back to Florida to reunite with her owners.
And police tell me they're drafting up a hefty list of charges against the half-dozen suspects. They couldn't tell me what the gang affiliation was, but they did tell me there could be more suspects.
One person is in custody connected to a deadly shooting at the 5 Points MARTA station. A man was killed when he was shot in the face this afternoon in Atlanta near Alabama and Broad Streets. We are working to learn more information. So far, no word on what led to the shooting. 2 teens are now charged with starting an apartment fire that left nearly 30 people homeless. Police have arrested 18-year-old Gary McKinley and a person who was underage. Investigators say the two were lighting fireworks in a breezeway on Monday night, and that ended up starting a fire at the landmark at Bella Vista Apartments. They're older and certainly built with different kinds of materials. The flames destroyed the building just outside of Duluth. The Red Cross now helping these families begin the new year in a very, very difficult way. A major twist in a murder case, all because of a DNA test. An innocent man spent years in prison for the crime. He's free tonight, and we have learned the man now charged in the case was hiding out here in Atlanta. Ryan Kruger is here with the story. And Ryan, this murder happened a decade ago. What's the suspect been doing since?
Yeah, Jeff, I found out he's lived in Fulton, DeKalb, and Newton counties on and off for several years now. Jail records show he's been arrested a few times locally, mostly for minor crimes. It is what happened 10 years ago outside of a bar in Houston that could send him behind bars for life.
Never give up.
Those 3 words kept Lydell Grant going for 7 years while he was in a Texas prison. He spent hours in the prison library filing appeals, knowing one day he'd be able to walk out a free man.
When they said, we sentenced you to life in prison, you know what I did? I smiled and I turned around to my mother. And Mama, would you tell the people what I told you?
He said, Mama, don't worry, I'll be back.
Recent DNA testing shows Grant could never have been the killer. The real murderer, police now say, was 41-year-old Dramarico Carter, who's been living in Atlanta for several years.
I sat in jail for what you did, but I'm not mad at him. I'm not mad at him at all. I forgive him.
We couldn't find any relatives or lawyers that Carter may have had in the area. Only his old mugshots. He was picked up by Atlanta PD last month at a pawn shop. He had outstanding warrants for probation violation in Statesboro, and that is where he is still in jail. But Houston police say he's already confessed to the killing. A Crime Stoppers tip helped solve the nationwide search.
To the victim's mother, I want to extend out to Miss Sherhan that justice has been served.
Carter will eventually be transferred to Texas. The Houston police chief offered a public apology to Lydell Grant and his family.
Thanks, Ryan. Some Delta airline employees are suing Land's End over their uniforms. The class action lawsuit claims the uniforms worn by 64,000 Delta employees cause health problems like rashes and fatigue, headaches, and also problems breathing. The employees say the problems are linked to chemicals in the uniforms that make them wrinkle-free, stain-resistant, and waterproof. Land's End has the contract to make those uniforms, has had them since 2016. Now the plaintiffs are asking them to recall the clothes and pay damages. A massive fundraising victory for President Trump's re-election campaign, while a pair of his Democratic rivals smashed records too. Today, President Trump's 2020 campaign announced it raised $46 million in the final quarter of 2019. It ended the year with more than $100 million. Senator Bernie Sanders raised more than $34 million in the fourth quarter, the most of any Democratic candidate. Andrew Yang also topped his previous fundraising record, $16.5 million. But you won't see him on stage in Iowa for the next Democratic debate. He has not met the polling qualifications. Somebody else will not be stumping in Iowa. Julian Castro, the former HUD secretary, suspended his campaign. The 45-year-old was the only Latino candidate running for the White House. 2020 promises to be a raucous election year in Georgia and nationally. One of those at the center of it will be a political newcomer, Kelly Loeffler. You know about her. She is the businesswoman appointed to the U.S. Senate by Governor Kemp. She was in Savannah today, and 11Alive's Doug Richards was with her.
Kelly Loeffler is an Atlanta businesswoman wearing two hats, that of rookie political candidate and that of Georgia's newest soon-to-be U.S. Senator. When she visited the Port of Savannah, she mostly left the candidate hat at home. Loeffler emerged from a windshield tour of the sprawling port, the fourth busiest in North America, run by the state government, carefully protected by state leaders. Loeffler's visit was in her official capacity, but her two roles as senator and candidate will likely merge later this month when she may have the opportunity to cast a vote supporting President Trump's case against impeachment.
I don't think that there was due process followed in the House proceedings.
We asked Loeffler if she had an obligation as a senator to objectively review the evidence against Trump.
We'll certainly do that, but do not see that this partisan process needs to go any further.
Before she left the Port of Savannah, Loeffler said that she expects to retain much of Senator Isaacson's staff when she assumes her Senate seat next week.
All right, we've got some breaking news right now. The United States has killed a powerful Iranian military leader in Baghdad at the direction of President Trump. The Pentagon confirmed that Qasem Soleimani is dead. The Pentagon says a U.S. airstrike killed him near Baghdad's airport. Another person also killed in the attack. The Pentagon says that Soleimani was creating a plan to attack American diplomats and service members in Iraq and the surrounding area. After the break, we'll have new insight from a coach about a Tech football recruit who took his own life over the weekend. All of that coming up. Stay with us.
Here's what you missed. In my experience, good guys do finish last.
I consider myself a nice guy. I've got the most beautiful woman in the world in my eyes.
You're a nice guy too,
Yeah.
Chesley.
I'm saying in my experience, when growing up, good guys didn't finish last.
Somebody broke his heart somewhere along the line.
We're here every weekday morning, so come on, hang out with us. Morning Rush, weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m., only on 11Alive.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
You didn't get my text? The whole crew got together for coffee this morning. I'm learning the taste of water, because I'm sugary. Yeah, right.
About that.
Well, reward would be
Slimming down. Okay.
Yes,
yeah,
okay.
a little water in my
yes.
cup.
And beautiful skin. You know, even more beautiful skin, you know, when it's all hydrated and everything else. I'm not going to be able to sit next to you in a few months.
Don't drink your morning coffee alone. Have it with us. Morning Rush, weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m., only on 11Alive.
Some mornings, what you want isn't what you have time for. And that's why there's the Rush Blog, the biggest news of the day in 5 minutes or less. Quick and convenient for all those hectic mornings. Catch the Rush Blog on the Morning Rush.
Everybody has learned how to drive, so I'm going to go ahead and retire.
It didn't last long. Crank up your morning rush with Crash Clark. Weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m. on 11Alive. Traffic brought to you by John Foy & Associates.
Atlanta is filled with great photo spots. And
A vigil was held in Florida tonight to celebrate a Georgia Tech football recruit's life, whose career was cut short. Bryce Gowdy was expected to move to Atlanta this weekend and begin classes on Monday. This is a story that is such a tragedy and one that I think all of us have been thinking about for days and days. My goodness. Young Gowdy, a football standout, a wide receiver, died earlier this week when he was hit by a train in Florida. The medical examiner ruled that he killed himself. Joe Hankey spoke with Gowdy's uncle today about the stress that this young man lived with after understanding that his family had recently become homeless.
Well, as a youngin', he was kind of forced to be an adult. His father was in and out of his life because of, decision making.
Thomas Gowdy says his nephew Bryce Gowdy thought of himself as a father figure to his younger brothers, and he did what he could to take care of them.
Every summer, he either came and worked with me, or he worked with my father and I with our family business to get extra money to help feed the family.
In the past 6 months, though, Bryce's uncle says financial problems set in, leaving Bryce, his mom, and brothers homeless.
My aunt, my dad, and I was the main ones, helping them financially. They were bouncing from hotel to hotel room. I had just fed them days ago, because he came to me saying they had to move again.
Bryce played high school football in Deerfield Beach, Florida, and committed to playing at Georgia Tech after being recruited by head coach Jeff Collins' program.
What do you love about Bryce Gowdy?
When you turn on the tape, I mean, he's just making plays all over the place. Great size, great speed, great athleticism.
On Sunday, a day before his death, Gowdy tweeted a picture saying family matters. Can't wait to get to the ATL soon.
He was very excited to meet his new Georgia Tech family. I mean, he was happy.
Bryce's uncle says his nephew, though, struggled with the stress of moving away from his mom and brothers.
And we were basically motivating him and letting him know, like, you know, you're going to be okay. You don't have to worry about your brothers, because once you step through that door on campus, your life will change.
As a Division I student athlete, Bryce knew he would have a place to live and food to eat, but his family did not have the same promise.
He knew he was going to be all right. His worry wasn't him. It was his brothers.
In a statement on Monday, Georgia Tech's football coach Jeff Collins said his team is devastated and is offering their condolences to Bryce Gowdy's family. We contacted Georgia Tech Athletics today, asking if it was aware of Gowdy's family being homeless and what resources might have been available. They said our question should be referred to the NCAA. Georgia Tech's social media pages have been putting out messages of support, and a GoFundMe for his family has far exceeded its $50,000 goal. People are sharing their condolences on the 11Alive Facebook page. You can head over there to join in on the conversation. And if you or someone you know is having suicidal thoughts, please call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. You can call the number on your screen. Somebody is available 24 hours a day, and it is free. The rain could be here to stay for a while. Meteorologist Samantha Moore has our forecast.
Yeah, Jeff, when you look at the radar right now, it looks like, oh, well, it looks like it's kind of coming to an end, but you can't count your chickens till they're hatched. And we're going to see more heavy rain at times tomorrow and into late afternoon tomorrow afternoon and even into the very beginning of the weekend. So right now we still have some showers that are moving right up 85, right across 285, and are now north of I-20 around Social Circle. Some decent downpours there just southeast of Loganville. But we have a lot more rain to come, and we've already seen a lot. We saw a couple of inches in a short period of time here in North Fulton and South Forsyth. That's why there's a flood warning in place for Big Creek, and that will be in place through Saturday morning. It's expected to crest on Saturday morning, so you know how that greenway always floods. Expect it this time around for sure. We also had an earthquake. The USGS reported an earthquake. Of course, it's not weather related, but it is science related, and it was 3 miles deep and had a magnitude of 2.0. It was northeast, a little over 4 miles northeast of Stockbridge. Haven't had any reports of any shaking or rocking and rolling going on there tonight. But we're seeing that line across northern Alabama, and that one could scrape by northwest Georgia overnight, and then a lot more moisture to come that's going to be working its way right along the edge of this warm frontal boundary. And we're definitely in the warm sector, so temperatures are going to be warming up about 15 degrees in the next few hours as that warm sector moves right over us. So a chance for showers yet this evening, and then a better chance for strong to severe thunderstorms, just isolated in nature as we head into tomorrow afternoon, or really even mid-morning to afternoon. I think we'll have a pretty good chance of seeing some strong gusty winds, so watch for tree limbs coming down as well as possible trees, especially with the soggy ground out there. Looking out at Rome, they definitely have soggy ground. I've been watching the rain puddling up on their streets all night tonight. They have a flood watch in place from Floyd County to the north, and they'll end up seeing some 2 to 3 inches of rain, so more flooding concerns for the folks across North Georgia. We're looking at those temperatures being impacted tonight by these storms and all the rain that we have had. In fact, 48 was our high, 46 our low. We should be around 34 for a low, 52 for a high, but we were flat all day. 49 degrees right now, but our temperatures will be warming up about 15 degrees by daybreak. So we're at 50 in Duluth, we're at 49 in Carrollton, 56 in LaGrange at the moment. And the next 12 hours, check out the temps. They're going to be on the rise, and the rainfall rates will be on the rise as well, I do believe. Showers overnight, then we'll see the strong line approaching in the middle of the night, but I think that one will weaken. It's going to be the second one that moves up here from southern Alabama into Carrollton and Marietta. This is 10:30 tomorrow morning, so mid-morning to mid-afternoon. Look at this explosion right around lunchtime, so that may want to make you brown bag and stay at your desk instead of getting out in this mess that'll be along the connector and through Alpharetta and into Blairsville as we head into the afternoon. And that ventures to the east throughout the afternoon hours, heading into Athens maybe around 3 or 4 o'clock. So these storms could produce some very heavy downpours, some frequent lightning and some gusty winds, and then still showery Friday night. So this is going to keep going until we get into Saturday. The final round will be lighter early in the morning, and then those gusty cold winds will be moving in, and the rainfall amounts could be quite impressive in some spots as those the line of storms moves through. We can see 1.5 to 2.5 inches of rain. So 100% chance of rain on our Friday. It'll still linger into Saturday morning, and then it'll be breezy and cool during the afternoon. Temperatures will drop way down. It's going to feel like we're around freezing by Saturday night. Cold and crisp on our Sunday, and then Monday we dry it out, warm it up a little bit. It'll be a very nice start to the work week as kids return to school, and another chance of rain come Tuesday next week.
A tumbling semi-truck crashed into several cars after driving off the road today. It started as traffic, and it was backed up at a light on Jimmy Carter Boulevard in Gwinnett County. The Georgia State Patrol says the truck hit 2 cars before it went down an embankment. On the way down, it flipped over, landed in a Quick Trip parking lot. GSP says a total of 10 cars damaged as part of a ripple effect. We're working to find out if anybody was hurt. New body camera video showing the moments a man crashed his car and jumped 40 feet from the freeway to escape a traffic stop that was actually meant for somebody else. The video shows an Atlanta police officer following the man who took off on foot after his car crashed on I-85. That's near Piedmont Road early this morning. Then the man jumped over the concrete wall. Officers were not able to find him after that, but they do say they found a gun near where he fell.
The Golden Globes are this weekend, and many Georgia productions are up for some top honors.
7 a.m. only on 11Alive.
Televised newscast not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
You didn't get my text? The whole crew got together for coffee this morning. I'm learning the taste of water because I'm sugary. Yeah, right.
About that?
Reward would be
slimming down. Okay.
Yes.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah, a little water in my cup.
And beautiful skin. Even more beautiful skin, when it's all hydrated and everything else. I'm not going to be able to sit next to you in a few months.
Don't drink your morning coffee alone. Have it with us. Morning Rush, weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m. Only on 11Alive.
Some mornings, what you want isn't what you have time for. And that's why there's the Rush Blog, the biggest news of the day in 5 minutes or less. Quick and convenient for all those hectic mornings. Catch the Rush Blog on the Morning Rush.
Everybody has learned how to drive, so I'm going to go ahead and retire.
It didn't last long. Crank up your morning rush with Crash Clark. Weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m. on 11Alive. Traffic brought to you by John Foy & Associates.
Atlanta is filled with great photo spots, and of course I would know because this is my hometown. I'm 11Alive's Francesca Amaker, and I'm about to show you my picks for the 3 best Instagram spots in Atlanta. The OUTKAST mural is one of Atlanta's newest hotspots. Created by the artist Jex, people flock from all over the world just to get a shot of these 2 hip-hop legends. News of the mural went viral when Big Boy himself gave a shout out on Instagram. You can find it tucked away in a back parking lot in Little 5 Points. An Atlanta icon, ever-changing, always interesting. The Krog Street Tunnel is full of artwork from some pretty eclectic Atlanta artists.
Yeah, all we feel is good vibes. Vibe with it, it's a good time. We don't worry about the hate, we just pass it to the side.
There's graffiti, community messages, concert announcements. You really never know what you're gonna get here, and that's what makes it so special. You can find it between Cabbagetown and Inman Park. If you've never checked it out, it's a must-see. There are hundreds of works of art along the Beltline. I'm talking murals, sculptures, photography. This beautiful mural was created by the artist Hints. It's 100 feet long, and even though it was created in 2004,
It is the first A scene of 2020. It's your one-stop shop for all things entertainment. And we are starting off with the biggest money-making movies of 2019. And you know what? A couple Georgia ones are on the list there. The top grossing movie of the year, Avengers Endgame, earning more than $2.7 billion worldwide. That's according to the Box Office Mojo. Also on the list, Jumanji, The Next Level, and Godzilla, King of the Monsters, all three filmed right here in the Metro. The 77th Annual Golden Globe Awards are this Sunday, and several movies and shows filmed here in Georgia are up for some awards. Kathy Bates scoring a nomination for Best Performance by an Actress in a Supporting Role in Any Motion Picture for her role in Richard Jewell as the mom. Joey King up for Best Performance by an Actress in a Limited Series or Motion Picture made for TV. King stars as Gypsy Rose Blanchard in The Act, which was filmed in Effingham County and Savannah. You can watch the Golden Globe Awards Sunday night right here on 11Alive. For more of the A-Scene, make sure you visit our website, 11alive.com/the-A-Scene. Make sure you follow us on all that social media too. If you see anybody around town or any filming going on, make sure you tag it with the hashtag the A-Scene.
He joined other artists to help put up murals of Colin Kaepernick after one was destroyed, and now he has a show that is all his own. A closer look is coming up next.
Without context, they're just clickbait. So let's add some perspective. The three most interesting numbers of the day, what they mean, and why they're important. News and numbers on Up Late.
What's the best part about your voice? It is never too loud or too much. Your voice has the power to tell it like it is.
Bringing us together to act.
Together our voices grow. Together we come alive. Amplifying voices and breaking down barriers to change the story and shape the future. Together we are unstoppable. Together we are where Atlanta speaks.
Remember the old days, the old cliffhangers when we used to watch shows?
And cliffhangers.
Would, you know, they would wait the next week. You're, oh, what's going to happen to the $6 million man? He was hanging with his one bionic arm.
Morning Rush, weekdays 5 to 7 a.m. only on 11Alive.
Atlanta. Almost 6 million people call the Metro home. But what makes this place so great? I'm 11Alive's Chesley McNeil. I'm going to give you 3 reasons why Atlanta is the best city in America. Come on, man. It's the heart of the South. And it's one of the most diverse cities around. People from all walks of life have come here and made it home. From different backgrounds, languages, and religions. And who can forget about the food? They all make this a cultural melting pot, full of great people and Southern hospitality. Atlanta's rich history is unmatched, known as the cradle of the civil rights movement for good reason. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Andrew Young, John Lewis, they all fought in the struggle for equal rights right here. Businesses on Sweet Auburn Avenue, local black churches, and college students from Atlanta all helped shape the future of America. Once an Olympic city, Atlanta's home to the best sports scene across the nation. Hey look, the South has something to say. You won't find more passionate fans anywhere. From the Atlanta Braves home run king, my man Hank Aaron, to the human highlight film Hawks Dominique Wilkins, some of the greatest athletes have come through Atlanta. We're talking the Falcons, the Braves, the Hawks, the MLS champs, Atlanta United. This city has something for every kind of sports fan. So what do you think? Is Atlanta the best city in America? Connect with us. Use Facebook or Instagram and tell us why this city's got it going on. And then watch us every weekday morning from 5 to 7 on the Morning Rush on 11Alive.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
Babe, where are my keys?
Where's my lunch?
Where's my phone? Hey, where's my blue shirt?
Where's my pen? Have you seen it?
Everybody has learned how to drive, so I'm going to go ahead and retire.
It didn't last long. Crank up your morning rush with Crash Clark. Weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m. on 11Alive. Traffic brought to you by John Foy & Associates.
I woke up at 2 in the morning to be here. Where were you?
Once you allow it, right, then it sets you up for the entire week where you just have lost it.
Like on a Sunday, it's like, oh, let's just order some Chinese food. And of course, you wind up eating tons of that. And then on Monday, you're like, well, I got leftovers. I can't let it go to waste.
Auntie wants to give you a plate to take home from the barbecue.
Auntie.
No.
Auntie, don't invite me to the barbecue.
I'm going to be looking for you next.
A group of neighbors is taking their fight to the federal level. They are pushing for a new investigation into the Fulton County court system. The woman in Buckhead who wrote a letter to the U.S. Attorney General pleading for help says she is fed up with repeat offenders getting out on bond or being given probation. Caitlin Ross reports.
All of us are frustrated. All of us are frustrated with the number of gangs, the number of shootings, the number of muggings, the number of robberies. We're all frustrated.
Daryl Cohen works as a criminal defense attorney and sees the problems with the court system up close, but doesn't think it's Fulton County District Attorney Paul Howard's fault. The letter Amber Connor sent to U.S. Attorney General William Barr alleges the DA doesn't go far enough to curb crime in Atlanta, and that he's intentionally keeping the court system in chaos.
He is going to prosecute every case that he possibly can, and he can be accused of being a politician, which he is, a district attorney, which he is.
Well, DA Howard told 11Alive he read the letter. He said he would wait to comment on it until the Attorney General responds. But this summer, he expressed frustration that judges in Fulton County grant bond to violent offenders, even when the district attorney's office opposes it.
This has happened over and over in our system.
Atlanta police, too, have called the judges out for being too lenient on offenders. This is what APD said after a teenager out on bond for allegedly shooting up an apartment complex with an assault rifle was arrested for a shooting near Clark Atlanta University's campus after getting out on bond in the other case.
We are very strong in our position that our court systems need to stand up, and we need to do better with this.
Cohen agrees this is a problem, but he thinks it should be the problem of people here in Atlanta, not Washington, D.C.
There is not an easy answer.
The family of a college student who was hit and killed on Georgia 400 is raising money to hire a private investigator. Stephen Egan was only 21, and nearly 2 weeks ago he was hit by a driver on Georgia 400 around 6 in the morning. That driver stayed at the scene, but Egan's family wants answers when it comes to why he was on the road at that hour and why his car and phone are still missing. Their GoFundMe to hire a private investigator has raised nearly $7,000 of its $20,000 goal. Former NFL coach and Atlanta native Sam Wyche has died at the age of 74. He died after a short battle with melanoma. In 2016, he had a heart transplant. He died in South Carolina. He graduated from North Fulton High School, played at Furman, which is a little less than 2 hours from where I'm sitting right here, coached the Bengals to a Super Bowl appearance in 1998. What a character. I had lunch with him at Dusty's off Briarcliff maybe 20 years ago when I ran into him. And he was telling great stories about being a teenager in Atlanta. His mother attended Morningside Baptist Church. His father had a Dairy Queen. I mean, what a full life. What a really interesting football life, an important life, a tremendous coach. Dead at the age of 74. He will be missed. New tonight, an NBC News investigation uncovered fake companies potentially allowing foreign students to evade U.S. immigration laws. And it's all happening right here in Georgia. The companies allow students to exploit a federal visa program. Here's NBC's Gabe Gutierrez, who is investigating.
You can actually see the column.
Fawaz Al-Shadi earned a master's at the University of Kansas and now works as an engineer. He came to the U.S. from Kuwait legally on a student visa called an F1 that allows foreign students to work in the U.S. after they graduate.
What sort of training are you getting from this job?
Building systems such as structural, mechanical, electrical, lighting, fire protection, and so on.
Fawaz's case is how the program's supposed to work, but a joint NBC News-NBC Bay Area investigation found that on a government list of top employers using this program, mixed in with companies like Amazon, Google, and Microsoft, are other companies that appear to be illegitimate, including one called FindReam, claiming to employ 500 students in 2017. Its founder, a woman named Kelly Huang, charged with criminal fraud. Prosecutors say FindReam's purpose was false verifications of employment for Chinese F1 visa holders. This website, allegedly associated with the company, described the OPT opportunity as pretend work. If a submission was well prepared, the website said, it will look real, and the U.S. government will think your status is legal. Some schools were fooled, including the University of Kansas. It found 7 students reported FindReam LLC as an employer.
Did everything seem legitimate?
You look at the documentation, everything is there. All the boxes are checked.
How hard is it for universities to police this?
It's impossible. It's impossible.
We went looking for some of the other companies on that government list. Telon Trading claimed to employ 877 students in 2017. We visited 5 addresses linked to the company in Georgia, 2 of them in strip malls, another 2 in corporate office buildings. No sign of Telon.
Nobody seems to have heard of them.
There's always people who want to exploit legal immigration.
Rachel Canty runs one of the offices at the Department of Homeland Security that oversees student visa programs.
We've looked at some of these companies, and some of them appear not to exist. How is that possible?
We do a lot of back-end data analytics. Once we have the list of companies where people are working, we work with our partners to identify those that there may be issues.
Some U.S. officials say more needs to be done.
We need new tools to be able to figure out who are the individuals that control some of these phony companies, but we also need to make sure that we overall raise our game.
He is one member of the group of artists known as the Kaepernick 7, but for a few days in East Point, he's getting a show entirely focused on his work. Craig Singleton, who likes to go by the name Seaflux, was recruited to create new murals of Colin Kaepernick. The original mural was destroyed just before the Super Bowl in Atlanta. Now, the GoFundMe to help make new murals is up to $11,000 right now, and Seaflux has his own show. It's called Heavy Clouds, on display at the Arts Exchange. We talked to him about the inspiration for his artistic endeavorment.
My inspiration comes from life experiences, but my observation of all those things. The stuff that I think about is dealing with relationships, dealing with my own thought process, how I view this world, you know what I'm saying, how I view society, the different styles and things that I use. People may connect them to cartoons, people may connect them to comic strips, people may connect them to comic books even, and graffiti as well.
He says this exhibit features his signature use of African-American themes that encompass struggle, beauty, and humor. It runs through January 18th. He's also hosting an Artist Talk one-on-one next Saturday. Chick-fil-A is taking some items off its menu. They have been testing modified menus in select North Carolina and Arizona restaurants, according to our partners at the Atlanta Business Chronicle. Gone are the original Chick-fil-A strips, the grilled Cool Wrap, and decaf coffee. Instead, the restaurant will test 3 new spicy entrees at some of its Charlotte locations. The FDA is changing how you check your nutrition facts. Nutrition label guidelines changed at the start of this year, so now the font, the lettering is bigger, and the columns are side by side with the nutrition information for one serving right next to the information for the entire package. So no more surprise calories when you eat more than 5 chips at a time. Companies also have to include the amount of added sugars. The new year's inspiring some people to start 2020 by doing a little bit of good. Today, the Clayton County Police Department hosted a Red Cross drive for blood. People of all ages came to donate despite the tough rainy weather. The need for blood remains constant, particularly during the holidays and shortly thereafter. The Red Cross supplies about 40% of the nation's blood supply, and one person can help save up to 3 lives for just an hour of their time. Coming up next, ratcheted up tensions between the U.S. and Iran. Protesters storm a U.S. embassy compound. Officials bracing more attacks, and tonight, a Revolutionary Guard leader has been killed.
Well, it has been a rainy night, and now we're going to see those winds picking up as we head into tomorrow. Potential thunderstorms, some could be severe. We'll time out all of your weather concerns coming up.
Coming up, UGA picks up a 5-star during the All-American game, but were they supposed to pick up another signee? A strange, unusual apology involving the #1 running back in the country coming up next.
7 a.m. on 11Alive. Traffic brought to you by John Foy & Associates.
I woke up at 2 in the morning to be here. Where were you?
Once you allow it, right, then it sets you up for the entire week where you just have lost it.
Like on a Sunday, it's like, oh, let's just order some Chinese food, and of course you wind up eating tons of that. And then on Monday, you're like, well, I got leftovers, I can't let it go to waste.
Auntie wants to give you a plate to take home from the barbecue.
Auntie!
No.
Auntie, don't invite me to the barbecue.
I'm gonna be looking for you next time, so use the hashtag and let us know you're hanging out with us. Morning Rush, weekdays 5 to 7 a.m. only on 11Alive.
The 11Alive app is your go-to source for all things Atlanta.
You hear what happened today? I'll tell you all about it. Breaking news the moment it happens.
The boil water advisory.
Hyper-local, accurate weather alert.
You may want to grab that sweater, maybe even a coat.
More stories to uncover. More videos to discover.
He did it his way.
Personalized for you.
And that's what makes it so special.
The 11Alive app. Available now in the App Store.
Hey, I got the ways to go. I got moves to make, call me, but I stay in the flow. See, I just do what I say I'm gonna do. No, my movement ain't faded. You could assume it.
Oh, and so I was saying, there is always something filming here in Atlanta. From movies to TV shows, you name it. And so the A scene keeps up with all of it for you. Casting calls, which big celebrities are in town, what's filming, and if it's in your neighborhood. It's like an inside scoop.
Oh, nice. But you know, I really wish you would have told us we were filming this today.
Ooh, did I not text you? All right. Ah, it's in my drafts. That's my bad.
So you slept in and you missed Morning Rush, huh? Well, here's what you missed. In my experience, good guys do finish last.
Stop.
I consider myself a nice guy. I've got the most beautiful woman in the world in my eyes.
You're a nice guy too,
Yeah.
Chester.
I'm saying in my experience, when growing up, good guys didn't finish last.
Somebody broke his heart somewhere along the line.
We're here every weekday morning, so come on, hang out with us. Morning Rush, weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m., only on 11Alive.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
You didn't get my text? The whole crew got together for coffee this morning. I'm learning the taste of water, because I'm sugary. Yeah, right.
About that.
Well, reward would be
Slimming down. Okay.
Yes.
Right,
Okay.
yeah, a little water in my
yes.
cup.
And beautiful skin. You know, even more beautiful skin, you know, when it's all hydrated and everything else. I'm not going to be able to sit next to you in a few months.
Don't drink your morning coffee alone. Have it with us. Morning Rush, weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m., only on 11Alive.
Some mornings, what you want isn't what you have time for. And that's why there's the Rush Blog, the biggest news of the day in 5 minutes or less. Quick and convenient for all those hectic mornings. Catch the Rush Blog on the Morning Rush.
Everybody is.
Tensions are high between the U.S. and Iran after protesters from Iran-backed militia groups stormed the U.S. Embassy compound in Iraq earlier this week. Now, I want to give you an update about some breaking news over the last 20 minutes or so. The Pentagon has said tonight that the U.S. military has killed General Qasem Soleimani, the head of Iran's elite Quds force, at the direction of President Trump. This airstrike killed Soleimani, the architect of Iran's regional security apparatus at Baghdad's international airport. Iranian state television and 3 Iraqi officials said the attack that is expected to draw Iranian retaliation against Israel and American interests. The Defense Department said that Soleimani was actively developing plans to attack American diplomats and service members in Iraq and throughout the region. The U.S. has also believed that Soleimani has been responsible for the death of hundreds of Americans. So again, he has been killed tonight by American forces. Here's Alice Barr with the very latest from Washington.
Today, an additional 650 American troops from Fort Bragg now on the ground in the Middle East, as Secretary of Defense Mark Esper warns there are indications Iran or its proxies may be planning more attacks.
We have all the capabilities inherent in the United States military to either respond to further attacks or to take preemptive action if additional attacks are being prepared.
This after 2 days of violent clashes at the American embassy compound in Iraq. The U.S. says pro-Iranian rioters lit fires and broke through an outer wall, though the embassy itself remains secure. The U.S. responded with a show of American military might, and demonstrators packed up and left the compound last night. It's the latest in a tense standoff with Iran. The protesters responding to deadly U.S. airstrikes against Iranian-backed militias in Iraq, who had previously attacked U.S. forces, killing an American contractor.
They have American blood on their hands, and therefore President Trump was absolutely right to strike back.
Critics blaming President Trump's policy decisions for the escalating violence, including pulling out of the Iran nuclear deal.
Once we did that, frankly, any level possibility of trust with Iran was destroyed. And frankly, the Iranians felt they had nothing to lose in the relationship.
President Trump this week directly threatening to retaliate while insisting he does not want war.
I don't think that would be a good idea for Iran. I want to have peace.
Hopes for peace in the new year as the showdown continues with an old threat.
While we're still seeing waves of rain move through, there's a little bit of a lull in the action right now, but we still have a few showers out there and a lot more to come overnight and in through tomorrow and even through the first part of Saturday. So right now, showers have lightened up quite a bit at the moment, except for here around the Athens area. They just saw some heavy downpours move through. Now those are moving on up parallel to I-85. But as we look at the big picture and expand outward, you can see all this heavy rain that is moving into Birmingham right now, and then a lot more off to our southwest. And this is what we're going to want to watch as we head into the overnight hours. That's going to bring in a lot of stormy action for us as we head into tomorrow. So flooding is still a great possibility across far northwest Georgia from Floyd County, Dade, Walker, Catoosa County. They all have this flood watch in place. 2 to 3 inch storm totals, some spots even getting more. So flooding is a definite possibility here as we head through tomorrow night. Looking out at Rome, you can see in Floyd County, boy, the rain is still coming down. I've been watching it all evening long, and it is coming down pretty hard right now. And on the other end of town, or in our metro area here in Henry County, about 4 miles northeast of Stockbridge, we had a weak earthquake. That was around 8:17 this evening, depth 3 miles, 2.0, so a fairly weak system. What won't be weak are these storms that may be moving through as we head through midday tomorrow, so we'll be watching that very closely for you. In fact, let's talk about the details as far as that is concerned. Let's talk about timing as the showers move through overnight, and then we see that heavier band approach tomorrow morning, and that seems to weaken in the early morning hours. But there's another line behind it here, mid-morning. I think this one could probably pack a punch as it moves through with some heavy rain, gusty, damaging winds, heavy downpours that could cause more flooding concerns. Don't ever drive into a flooded roadway. We may be seeing plenty of those during the day tomorrow. That continues to march to the east during the afternoon. So we could have very heavy rainfall rates, gusty winds, a lot of lightning, and some strong gusty winds as this line moves to the east. And then behind it, still some leftover showers as we head into Friday night and then into Saturday morning. So I think it's probably going to be lunchtime on Saturday before we finally start to see things taper off here throughout the afternoon. So for tonight, temperatures going way up as the rain continues off and on around here. So it's going up because we're getting a warm air advection. By 11 o'clock tomorrow lunchtime, 71 degrees. So we'll have warmed up 20 degrees overnight. That's kind of odd, isn't it? Well, that's warm air advection at work. It starts to cool off as we head into Friday as the first front moves through. And then as we head into Saturday, the really cold air moves in. It's going to feel when those winds gust on Saturday night like it's 28 degrees when you're out on the town. So grab your big winter coat if you're going to be out and about on Saturday night. And rainfall amounts will continue to be impressive as we head into our Saturday. So a wet pattern through Saturday morning, temperatures on the rise, and then cold and windy on our Saturday night. So we're looking at 100% chance of rain on our Friday. We have morning showers on Saturday and then finally clearing out, but quite windy and cold on Saturday night. Sunday will be cold and crisp and breezy. A 10 on your wasometer on Monday as kids head back to work and many back to school and parents head back to work, and a chance for rain again next Tuesday as well.
Two-time Olympic gold medalist Christian Taylor from Fayetteville, Georgia, says he wants to help the next generation of athletes. He's just started an initiative so athletes will have a greater voice and more influence over their sport. Christian is the reigning world and Olympic champ in triple jump. He just launched the Athletics Association. It's a body for professional athletes that will fight for athletes' rights and demand a greater say in how their sports are run. He says what makes our sport beautiful is its equality. Shot putters, sprinters, and distance runners are all part of one family. But it feels more and more like that is changing, as if a hierarchy is coming, threatening the livelihoods of those events considered less popular. There is already an athletes commission. Taylor says his organization will be truly independent so athletes can have more say, saying hopefully many years from now we can look back and say we planted a seed that changed the sport for the better. We are 203 days away from opening ceremony, and this week Tokyo's Olympic Stadium held its first major event, a soccer match. But it wasn't just a grand opening, it was really a test run ahead of the 2020 games. Fans at Japan's Emperor's Cup final were there to see the inside of the stadium for the first time. A few fans got lost on the way to the stadium, so the 2020 organizers say they're going to improve the signage before the Olympics. Overall, though, it was a success. I'll be traveling to Tokyo to report on the games, and you can watch our full coverage here on 11Alive.
Sports on this Thursday night, not even 24 hours after winning the Sugar Bowl. The Dogs got another big win tonight. Five-star tight end Darnell Washington revealed that he signed his letter of intent to play for the Dogs. The coaches have known since last month, but today he revealed it to all the fans.
Just surrounding myself with the right people, because if I go there and if I don't surround her with the right people, then she, she won't be good. So I want everybody to be good. My daughter and myself.
Looks like she's cute little daughter. Layla is her name in the UGA outfit. He is the #1 tight end in the country. As for the game, plenty of Georgia commits on the field, but Georgia Tech commit Jeff Sims started out the highlights. The read option on the touchdown. Jeff Collins can't wait to get him in the offense. UGA commit Roderick Jones guarding the left side for Sims. Plenty of UGA defenders playing in the white jerseys. Sims and Deion Sanders' team, they are victorious. Strange moment during the game. The number one running back in the country, Zach Evans, supposed to announce where he signed today, but he has delayed it. During the game, he apologized during an interview. He has had trouble in high school, and he was sent home before the Texas championship for breaking team rules. If he had chosen Georgia, we know that Kirby Smart would have to get him in line pretty quick. He has had some issues.
I want to apologize to all my college coaches for everything that's going on and what they're hearing. I'm really a good kid, and I wanted to, come up here. I came in, I learned from some former professionals how to overcome adversity. I made some stupid decisions, and I'm ready to compete at the next level.
A mistake, man, and he admitted to me it was a stupid mistake. I let my emotions get the best of me. He said, Coach, I want another chance. I could prove to the world that I am a better person.
All right, Atlanta native and former Cincinnati and Tampa Bay Bucks head coach Sam Weich died today. A really innovative mind who was nearly a Super Bowl champion had it not been for Joe Montana and John Taylor. He is an Atlanta native, North Fulton grad. He went to Furman, which of course is in Greenville, South Carolina, about an hour and 50 minutes away from where I'm standing right now. 20 years ago, I ran into him at Dusty's Barbecue off of Briarcliff. Dusty's isn't there anymore. But he invited me to join him over at a table, and we were eating chopped pork sandwiches with coleslaw and hush puppies, and we were drinking sweet tea. And I'll tell you what, he was telling stories, amazing stories. We all miss Dusty's also, but a very charismatic, charming, unusual guy. Told these great, colorful stories of Atlanta, playing football here as a teen. His mother attended Morningside Baptist. Sam attended there too. And as I recall, his father owned an Atlanta Dairy Queen. So he worked there serving Mr. Misty's and dilly bars. He was a coach remembered all over the country. And, I think a lot of people sort of forget about that in Atlanta. I always thought he would have been a pretty good fit with the Falcons at a time when they needed a creative mind and somebody who could sell some tickets. Georgia State basketball, the Panthers have won 8 of their last 9 games. The freshman Jalen Thomas, 7 for 7, 14 points. Panthers strong offensively in the paint. They win 69-60. They are 3-0 in the Sun Belt right now. That's it for sports. We'll wrap things up right after this.
2014, it still remains very popular to musicians and photographers alike. You can find it on the East Side Trail under Virginia Avenue. So let me know what you think. It doesn't have to be street art. Maybe your favorite spot is down the street from your home or a great view. Connect with me on Facebook and Instagram and share your favorite Instagram spots in Atlanta. And come hang out with me on Morning Rush, weekdays 5 to 7 a.m. on 11Alive.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
I haven't seen you in a while. Where you been?
It looks like fun.
They are fun.
And they're
convenient. But they're being dumped everywhere.
5,000 scooters at one time active throughout the city. I enjoy them myself. They're fun. There's got to be some regulations.
I just feel like we have to evolve with the times, though. They're not going anywhere. They shouldn't go anywhere. It's a new way of transporting. We have to evolve.
I'm going to be looking for you next time, so use the hashtag and let us know you're hanging out with us. Morning Rush, weekdays 5 to 7 a.m.
You see them all day, every day. Headlines, stats, and numbers, but without context, they're just clickbait. So let's add some perspective. The 3 most interesting numbers of the day, what they mean, and why they're important. News and numbers on Up Late.
What's the best part about
Your voice, it is never too loud or too much. Your voice has the power to tell it like it is.
Bringing us together to act.
Together, our voices grow. Together, we come alive, amplifying voices and breaking down barriers to change the story and shape the future. Together, we are unstoppable. Together, we are where Atlanta speaks.
Remember the old days, the old cliffhangers when we used to watch shows?
Hey,
and
cliffhangers.
they would wait the next week. You were, what's going to happen to the $6 million man? He was hanging with his one bionic arm.
Morning Rush, weekdays 5 to 7 a.m. Only on 11Alive.
Atlanta. Almost 6 million people call the Metro home. But what makes this place so great? I'm 11Alive's Chesley McNeil. I'm going to give you 3 reasons why Atlanta is the best city in America. Come on, man. It's the heart of the South. And it's one of the most diverse cities around. People from all walks of life have come here and made it home. From different backgrounds, languages, and religions. And who can forget about the food? They all make this a cultural melting pot, full of great people and Southern hospitality. Atlanta's rich history is unmatched, known as the cradle of the civil rights movement for good reason. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Andrew Young, John Lewis, they all fought in the struggle for equal rights right here. Businesses on Sweet Auburn Avenue, local black churches.
Rain is moving in tonight still, and it will continue off and on throughout tomorrow, really into the beginning of Saturday. And this is wild, but you know we're going to be around 70 degrees at lunchtime tomorrow, and then dropping down into the 40s Saturday night, but it's going to feel like we're in the 20s. When you're out on date night, Jeff, Saturday night, we're going to go from one extreme to the other. So when you take your wife out, tell her to take her good coat.
Like a fur coat?
Well, a warm coat.
This city's got it going on. And then watch us every weekday morning from 5 to 7 on the Morning Rush on 11Alive.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
Babe, where are my keys?
Where's my lunch?
Where's my phone? Hey, where's my blue shirt?
Where's my pen? Have you seen it?
Everybody has learned how to drive, so I'm going to go ahead and retire.
It didn't last long. Crank up your morning rush with Crash Clark. Weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m. on 11Alive. Traffic brought to you by John Foy & Associates.
I woke up at 2 in the morning to be here. Where were you?
Once you allow it, right, then it sets you up for the entire week where you just have lost it.
Like on a Sunday, it's like, let's just order some Chinese food, and of course you wind up eating tons of that. And then on Monday, you're like, I got leftovers. I can't let it go to waste.
Auntie wants to give you a plate to take home from the barbecue.
Auntie.
Auntie, don't invite me to the barbecue.
I'm going to be looking for you next time, so use the hashtag and let us know you're hanging out with us. Morning Rush, weekdays 5 to 7 a.m. only on 11Alive.
The 11Alive app is your go-to source for all things Atlanta.
You hear what happened today? I'll tell you all about it. Breaking news the moment it happens.
The boil water advisory.
Hyper-local, accurate weather alert.
You may want to grab that sweater, maybe even a coat.
More stories to uncover. More videos to discover.
He did it his way.
Personalized for you.
And that's what makes it so special.
The 11Alive app. Available now in the App Store.
Hey, I got the ways to go. I got moves to make, homie, but I stay in the flow. See, I just do what I say I'm gonna do. No, my movement ain't fading. You could assume it.
Oh, and so I was saying, there is always something filming here in Atlanta. From movies to TV shows, you name it. And so the A scene keeps up with all of it for you. Casting calls, which big celebrities are in town, what's filming, and if it's in your neighborhood. It's like an inside scoop.
Oh, nice. But you know, I really wish you would have told us we were filming this today.
Ooh, did I not text you? All right. Ah, it's in my drafts. That's my bad.
So you slept in and you missed morning rush, huh? Well, here's what you missed. In my experience, good guys do finish last.
I consider myself a